It's Saturday! You know what that means. We're live! Ladies and gentlemen, we are getting things started in a big way. You are not going to want to miss a minute of this. Now, for those of you who do not know who I am, well, please allow me to introduce myself. Ladies and gentlemen, I am the one and only DJ Storms, and I would like to welcome each and every single one of you back here to the channel on YouTube.com. As of course, you already know who I am, Mr. Controversy and the operator of the best damn Twitter handle. No. Wait for it. Wait for it. To mankind! This is the official Lightning Flash update for January 16th, 2021. And my oh my, do we got a hot crowd today. We got Adam, we got Danielle, shout out to you, and your girl Kay, I know you both are watching. Shout out to Cool King, Mr. Rob Wells, shout out to Furious Nation. So here's what I need y'all to do if you haven't already done so. We got 7 likes so far, 7 people watching. I like that, but we need more, okay? So I was checking the analytics. For the last Lightning Flash update. The last Lightning Flash update, that did 221 views and 42 likes. We nearly got to 50 likes. So here's the goal. Our goal is to get to 50 likes in this stream. But in order to do that, I'm going to need your help. So apparently, everyone's already been sharing this out. Let's check Twitter. We're going to check Twitter, and we're going to see who's been sharing this out. Okay, Danielle's been sharing it out. Good. Good. Where is Adam? You said you shared it out, right? I believe Adam has shared out the stream. We're going to share it out to a few more people. There we go. Okay. Sharing it out to a few more people. Here's what we need. We need to get a lot more people in here. So we're getting 9 people watching. We got 9 people watching. I like that. We got 9 people watching so far, but we need more. We need more people watching. So here's what we're going to do. Before we get into the festivities here in the Lightning Flash update, we are going to get through some self-brand promotions and advertisements. Of course, yes, that is Royal Rumble 2017 playing in the background. Now, if you guys haven't already done so, I need y'all to follow me on the Twitter sticks. I need you to follow me on the Twitter sticks. Of course, at HistoryMakerDJS. You'll find out why I am the operator of the best damn Twitter handle known to mankind. Follow me on Instagram at DDJStorms. Of course, follow me and add me as a friend on Facebook. For collaborations and business inquiries, please send me an email. My email is, of course, StormsTakeOver@gmail.com. Like the official DJ Storms business page, and I may just send you an invite to join the official DJ Storms Posse group on Facebook. That is, all the links are in the description. If you guys missed it, me and Hibiki TMD, for the very first time ever, we collaborated. That's right. Me and Hibiki TMD, we brought the fucking fire. We brought the thunder and the lightning to begin 2021. I made my way over to his channel and I reviewed Royal Rumble 95 alongside him. We talked about everything that went down at the Royal Rumble of 1995. Of course, we got the Royal Rumble 2021 coming up in just 2 weeks. I figured it would be a nice collaboration. I figured it would be a very nice crossover of both of our brands. And hey, we both hit a grand slam. If you guys missed it, please go check it out. That link is in the description. That's almost at 20 likes and 200 views. It was excellent. If you guys missed it, the link is in the description. You can check it out after the stream is over. If you guys haven't already done so, I don't know what the fuck you're doing. I need y'all to hit the thumbs up. We only have 8 likes and we got 10 viewers. I mean, come on. I need y'all to hit that thumbs up. Someone's lurking. Someone's lurking on my streams. I know there are a lot of lurkers out there. There are people just waiting for me to rant on Charlotte Flair. Trust me, it's coming. It's coming. Of course, there's my girl Hannah Bliss. And yes, I just saw Hannah. You did share it out. Thank you very much, Miss Hannah Bliss. You are absolutely fantastic. You are awesome. Thank you very much. I greatly appreciate it. Please let me know if the mic is coming in good. Sometimes it can be a little echoey. We got Nathan the Great. How are you, my friend? Thank you for coming in. Be sure to hit that thumbs up. So, before anything, obviously hit the thumbs up. Please, I need y'all to hit that thumbs up if you haven't already done so. Want to get this video to 50 thumbs up. We just got 2 more, and Leo is in the chat. How are you, my friend Leo? You are absolutely fantastic. Thank you very much. Please share out the stream on all platforms, social media, whether it be Twitter, Instagram, Pinterest, Tumblr, Facebook, YouTube. Everywhere you can share out this stream. I want you to share out this stream because we are going absolutely balls to the wall. We are on the grind. We are going to make this another excellent stream, another grand slam stream. So please hit the like button if you haven't already done so. We're already at 10 likes. We are 1/5 of the way there to 50 likes. Share it out on all platforms, social media, get as many people in here as possible. Of course. Please share out the stream as well. Tell everyone about me, your moms, your dads, your children, your aunts, your uncles, your grandparents, your dogs, your cats, your guinea pigs. Everyone wants a piece of DJ Storm, so please share it out on all platforms, social media. Keep the chat going. Of course, we got a lot of people in the chat right now. I know they'll be keeping it going. Of course, when you're in the chat, you gotta be sure you hit that subscribe button because I want to grow, I want to expand, I want to make sure the brand reaches its widest audience ever because 2021 is going to be a big year for the DJ Storms brand. So please share out the stream and be sure hit that subscribe button. And when you hit that subscribe button, be sure to hit that notifications bell with a huge coup de grace. That way you will know whenever I pop up on YouTube. Because whenever I pop up on YouTube, it is the best time to be on YouTube. It's the only time you're going to get to see this glorious sidebar and shin strap combination and this beautiful mustache right here. Give me 1 second. Look at that. Look at it. Yeah. Everybody wants a piece of the Stormsmeister. Everybody wants a piece of the Stormsmeister. Anyway. Enough of the self-brand promotion and the advertisements. Thank you very much for sharing it out, Leo. We're going to get straight into the news, rumors, and reports. We're going to get straight into the news, rumors, and reports. We got a lot of interesting reports to talk about. And I'm going to check the chat after I'm done with the news, rumors, and reports. So stick around. I will be checking the chat. So just hang in there. Now, we're going to get to the news, rumors, and reports. First report that we got. According to betonline.ag, there are some new favorites to win the men's and the women's Royal Rumble events. Listen to this. Last time we checked, the favorites were Alexa Bliss and Keith Lee to win their respective Rumbles. Now, Daniel Bryan is the current favorite to win the men's Royal Rumble match at a negative 125 odds, while Bianca Belair is the current favorite to win the Women's Royal Rumble match at a positive 450 betting odds. So, ladies and gentlemen, if you've been wondering, I have been reporting every single week for the last couple weeks new favorites. Originally, they were Big E and Rhea Ripley. Then they transferred to Keith Lee and Alexa Bliss. Now they're on Daniel Bryan and Bianca Belair. For all we know, it could change next week. But if anything, if I was WWE, I would not change a thing. These two are the correct favorites. These two are the correct favorites, and these two are the correct winners. Now, some people may say Bayley for the Women's Royal Rumble. I definitely would not mind Bayley because it makes sense and it ties up loose ends with Sasha Banks. However, if anything, Bianca Belair, she's been on the main roster for what? She's been on the main roster for almost a year, and she has gotten nothing more than a talk show segment with Bayley. So if anything, the correct winner would be Bianca Belair because of how Bianca Belair has been waiting in the wings so long. Bayley, yes, would make sense to win the Women's Royal Rumble, to tie up loose ends with Sasha Banks and finish up that storyline, but Bayley's already a made woman. Bianca Belair, we already know how good Bianca Belair is, but Bianca Belair has not had that one moment in the sun to really prove it. So if anything, Bianca Belair winning the Women's Royal Rumble and facing Sasha Banks at WrestleMania, that would be the validation that Bianca Belair has been waiting for, if you know what I'm saying. So if anything, Bianca Belair is the correct winner, in my eyes at least, to win the Women's Royal Rumble. As far as Daniel Bryan goes, Daniel Bryan is self-explanatory. Daniel Bryan and Roman Reigns, it writes itself. The story is there. Everyone would love to see Daniel Bryan and Roman Reigns face off and tell that story, considering how Daniel Bryan was the next John Cena and Roman Reigns was the hand-picked man by the company to be the next John Cena, but the fans didn't want him. They'll tell that story, and I'm telling you, the ratings for SmackDown will continue to skyrocket because of how great the feud and the whole storyline with Daniel Bryan and Roman Reigns is. I see that some people are saying that there's an echo. Let's see. Is that a little better? How bad is the echo? Is that okay? Is that a little bit better? I'm trying here. I don't know what's going on. Some days there's an echo, some days there's not. I have to figure this out. It's probably because of the room. It's probably because of the room that I'm in, bro. Yeah, I hear what you're saying, Cameron. It's probably because of the room that I'm in. Is it better now? Good. Okay, Danielle says it's better. Danielle says it's better. Good. So, as I was saying with Daniel Bryan, the story pretty much writes itself. It would make the most sense, and if anything, it would really help propel Roman Reigns even further into the stratosphere. Of course, you know, we didn't think Roman Reigns could get any higher, but as the weeks go on, Roman Reigns continues to get higher and higher and higher. At this rate, he's at the moon. You know how Cameron Grimes always says that he's going to the moon. Roman Reigns is already at the moon. But these two are your two current favorites to win the men's and the women's Royal Rumble matches. I am very, very pleased to hear this. Very, very pleased to see how this works out. And I will keep you guys updated on any further news, rumors, and reports regarding the favorites for the Royal Rumble match winners. Moving on to the next report. We get a report from Ringside News, and they can confirm that Drew McIntyre, who tested positive for COVID-19, and it was made official. He announced it, and WWE even made it official. McIntyre is not the only current case of COVID-19 on the main roster. A member of the SmackDown roster, who out of respect was not named, also tested positive for COVID-19. Ringside News did confirm that this individual is involved in a television storyline. Of course, you saw what went down on SmackDown, and you saw the different storylines that went on SmackDown. Some people like Blake and Cutler, some people like Murphy, they were not on SmackDown Live. So obviously, maybe one of them tested positive for COVID-19. I originally thought it was going to be Sasha Banks, but Sasha Banks actually made an appearance in a backstage segment with Carmella in which she challenged her sommelier, Reginald, to a match. And if Sasha Banks can have Reginald, then Carmella can have Sasha Banks for the SmackDown Women's Championship just one more time. So obviously, it's probably a male individual. It's probably Murphy, says Cameron Johnson. I actually do agree with that. It's probably Murphy. I don't know who else it could be, but I do wish Murphy and I do wish Drew McIntyre a speedy recovery. One thing that I was not looking forward to reading was this, and it's a report from Dave Meltzer. And he said that Ric Flair is once again a full-time character on WWE TV, and he will be partnered up with Lacey Evans going forward. I kid you not, folks. I really kid you not here. I don't know why they're partnering Ric Flair with Lacey Evans. I don't know what the motive is. I don't know why they are deciding to pair Charlotte Flair up in a program against her father. I'm not sure what the reason was to bring Ric Flair back. And I'm going to talk about this when we get into the Raw review of the Lightning Flash update. I really do not know. Everything is just a big fucking question mark with Charlotte Flair at this rate, and not in a good way. And we're going to go in depth on that when we talk about Charlotte Flair and Lacey Evans on the Raw review. But in case anyone was wondering, that is pretty much where we're at right now with Ric Flair, as Ric Flair is now a full-time character and he's partnered up with Lacey Evans for whatever fucking reason. Moving on to the next report. Ringside News reported on Ricochet's status with the WWE. They talked about WrestleVote's tweet from September about a superstar who was not re-signing with the company. Ricochet's name was brought up as a rumor. That rumor then resurfaced, and during an episode of Wrestling Observer Live, Brian Alvarez actually brought up Ricochet's booking. He also mentioned Ricochet's contract and that the belief is that he has yet to sign a new deal. Ricochet then recently came out and called out the report from Ringside News for being fake, where he quote tweeted the tweet from Ringside News and stated, "This is fake." On top of that, Fightful actually came out and they reported that when Ricochet came up to the main roster in 2019, he actually signed a contract extension and is not expected to negotiate any new terms with the WWE until 2024. So Ricochet probably figured that things were going to go good when he came up to the main roster. He was actually being booked somewhat decently. He was in a United States title program with Samoa Joe. He actually won the United States Championship. And then he was in a program with AJ Styles. But after that program with AJ Styles, then he never recovered. And he was never used properly since then. So based off of everything, it seems as though Ricochet must have signed that contract extension before his feud for the United States Championship with AJ Styles, and that's where Ricochet currently is right now. Ricochet signed the contract extension because he was blinded. He was blinded by the semi-decent booking that he had in the beginning of his main roster run, and now he is just completely dead in the fucking water, completely fucking buried, bottom of the barrel. Now we are stuck in a position in which we are waiting whether or not Ricochet is going to re-sign when his contract is up. We got 3 more years that we're going to have to suffer. More likely than not, WWE is not going to do anything with Ricochet because they don't give a shit. All they do is sign talent for the sake of signing them, and they hoard them away. Now this is the moment that you've all been waiting for, based on the thumbnail and based on the title of the video. Strap in, people, strap in. Charlotte Flair. I can imagine how many people are cringing in disgust behind their phone screens right now. Charlotte Flair. Charlotte Flair recently came out and blasted an article talking about whether or not she deserves the hate that she gets. Which, by the way, she does deserve every ounce of hate that she gets. And she responded with a thread of tweets. Now, first off, one of my friends, Michelle, who's currently working right now, she'll probably watch the stream later. Listen, she brought up the fact that some people were body shaming Charlotte. I'm going to get this out of the way. No one is condoning any body shaming. No normal human being is condoning any body shaming. Body shaming is absolutely fucking inexcusable. No one is condoning that. No one is supporting. No one with a normal sense of intelligence, no one with an ounce of common sense is supporting body shaming. We are not supporting the body shaming of Charlotte Flair. Nobody is. I do not condone that. Matter of fact, I absolutely fucking condemn that. It is absolutely inexcusable to see that some people still do that. But here is what the issue is. The issue here with the backlash, which, by the way, she deserves every fucking bit of it, is the fact that she is constantly in a position in which no other woman in the division is getting the opportunity to shine. She's in a position in which she's constantly here and she doesn't take a few steps down, even though she's already had a made career. So here's what the thread of tweets read. It read, and I quote, and I'm going to be stopping here and there to talk about each section. So listen to this. So it started off with this. She quote tweeted the article by saying, and I quote, "I should just scroll block this garbage, but words matter. So I will take a few moments to educate you, since both a human and I would assume an editor allowed this bullshit to sully Al Gore's internet." Okay, so time out there. First off, words matter, she says. Words matter. Honey, these are the words of a random individual who wrote an article. These are the words of a critic. These are the words of a random individual, a random being on social media who does not have any affiliation or association with you whatsoever. These are the words of an individual that does this shit just for the sake of doing this shit, because they have every right to voice how they feel and they have every right to write an article pertaining to whatever they want. So let me ask you a question. What does this individual have? What did this individual say? What did this individual do that is going to have a long-term effect on your life, however many years down the road? You are the daughter of Ric Flair. You are a 14-time women's champion. You are a bona fide Hall of Famer. You are one of the top women in the division. You have been in the spotlight for God knows how long. You're making all this fucking money. You look like $1 million. You're engaged to Andrade, and I assume your relationship's going very, very well. But yet you're bothered by the words of a random being on social media. I mean, I didn't think you could be that fucking insecure. Right then and there, you know that Charlotte Flair is a thin-skinned pussy. Right then and there, you know she should not be on social media whatsoever. Just saying. I would understand if it's a family member, if it's a close friend, if it's management. Those words matter. Words from those people matter, because those people are going to have long-term effects on your life 5 years down the road. A word from your father, the words from your friends, the words from your soon-to-be husband, those words should matter to you. that I would understand. But if you're saying that the words of a random individual on social media matter to you when you have all of these things going for you, my God, are you a fucking thin-skinned bitch? My God. If that's the case, you should not be on social media whatsoever. You need to fucking tough it up. And by the way, the only reason why these words would matter to you is because every single word that is said in that article and every single word that is said from people like me are 1,000% factual. That's why these words bother you. That's the only reason why you're bothered by these words. And the thing is, you know that they're right. You know that they're right, but what do? You don't want to admit it. So you quote tweet these articles and you tweet them out on whatever social media platforms that you have, whether it be Twitter or Instagram or Facebook, whatever. You say this shit in an interview and all of your brainwashed fans, all of your stupid ass fans flock to your Twitter, flock to your Instagram like the sheep that they are, and they suck your tits, figuratively speaking, and they agree with you and they come to your defense. Then you see all these positive comments about yourself and they make you feel better, even though deep down you know that you're wrong. So right then and there, it just proves to you that she knows that every single word that is said in these articles and every single word that is said from people like me are correct. And it bothers her because she knows that she cannot prove us wrong. And what the fuck are you going to educate us on? What the fuck are you going to educate us on? So that was the first thing said. Next thing. I have taken time off 3 times while on the main roster. First time was when my dad was sick. Second time was a 6-week injury that was followed up by 18 months of staring at lights to help create a new star. Third time is now. What exactly is it that I'm avoiding? That was the second thing said. Okay, first off, you were not staring up at the lights to help create a new star. You played a very small role in helping create Becky Lynch, which I assume that's who she's talking about. You played a very small role in helping create Becky Lynch. Here's the real reason why Becky Lynch was made into a star. It's because Nia Jax broke her face and she did not get the match with Ronda Rousey that she was supposed to get at Survivor Series of 2018. So they had no choice but to put Becky Lynch in the main event of WrestleMania and have her win the Rumble, because if they didn't, then fans would have revolted and given WWE all this backlash, similar to how they gave WWE backlash for not pushing Daniel Bryan back in 2013 and 2014. Charlotte Flair was merely a minuscule role in helping get Becky Lynch over. If Nia Jax never broke Becky Lynch's face, Becky Lynch would not be as big as she is. I give Nia Jax more credit for making Becky Lynch into a star than you. And she was not staring up at the lights with Charlotte Flair. Charlotte Flair was in a fucking championship match at every fucking step of the way. She was in a big-time matchup at every single fucking step of the way throughout the course of 2018, 2019, 2020, and she was already a fucking made woman. What exactly are you missing? I'll tell you what you're missing. I'll tell you exactly what you're missing. You are missing the fact that you are already an established star. By 2018, you had a Hall of Fame career. You could have retired in 2018, and you would have been inducted into the Hall of Fame the following year. The problem here is that you are already an established star, yet you are constantly in every other fucking pay-per-view championship match, scattered throughout the course of the year. The problem is that you never advocate for any other woman. You never advocate for any other woman, and you never fight to help get other women over. It is not a coincidence, and I'm going to educate all of you right here. It is not a coincidence that Becky Lynch advocated for Shayna Baszler to beat her at WrestleMania, even though Shayna didn't win. Becky came out on the Bella Twins podcast saying that she advocated for Shayna. On top of that, Bayley and Sasha Banks made Shayna Baszler look like an absolute monster when they had that women's tag team title program towards the end of the summer. They made Shayna Baszler look like an absolute monster. It is not a coincidence that all the other horsewomen advocated for Shayna, but yet Charlotte Flair did not want to get eliminated by Shayna Baszler at the Royal Rumble of last year. It is not a coincidence. It goes to show you that Charlotte Flair knows exactly what's going on backstage. It is partially her fault that she gets all of this hate. Number one, management caters to her. That's on management's fault. That's on management. Management caters to her, but she knows. She knows that management caters to her, so she takes advantage of it. She takes advantage of it, and she makes sure that she gets exactly what she wants because she knows that management is going to do whatever she says because she has the last name Flair. Nobody is saying that she doesn't deserve success. No one is saying that she doesn't deserve to be praised as a good wrestler. She is a good wrestler. No one is denying that. However, look at what she has accomplished in the last 7 years of her career. Listen to this. She is a 14-time women's champion. She held the NXT Women's Championship for nearly a year. She was the last Divas champion. She was the first ever reincarnated WWE Women's Champion all the way back at WrestleMania 32. She was the first woman to ever win a match inside Hell in a Cell. She ended Asuka's undefeated streak. She won the Women's Royal Rumble. She was one of the first women to main event WrestleMania. And her career isn't even 10 years old. The fact that she has all of these accomplishments and she's done everything there is to do in the women's division and her career isn't even half over, that is fucking ridiculous. That is absolutely ridiculous, and there is no reason why she deserves all of those accomplishments in such a short amount of time. What are you missing? I'll tell you what you're missing, sweetheart. You are missing the fact that you are an established woman and you refuse to advocate for any other woman. You are an established woman and you are constantly in the title picture, and when you're constantly in the title picture, how is any other woman supposed to move up the rankings and get on your level? And don't even get me started about what she said next. Here's what she said next. I keep looking for the article where you trash one of the male champions for taking time off and being inserted back into the title picture. Don't find one. Shocking. Wonder why. So we all know that Charlotte Flair didn't have any valid information to back up her claim and back up her argument. So what does she do? She cries out sexism. She pulls the sexism excuse out of her ass. People, I'm telling you right now, if you use racism, homophobia, or sexism as a crutch to aid your argument is deemed invalid. Invalid at that moment. Period. Period. That is some of the most overused verbiage that I think I've ever heard. Matter of fact, it is the most overused verbiage. It is a lame excuse. And if you are using the sexism card in 2021 to aid your argument, you are a complete retard, and I do not have any respect for you whatsoever. I have none. This has nothing to do with sexism. Oh, by the way, her claim is also wrong because, correct me if I'm wrong, but every single time Brock Lesnar came back and he was getting a Universal or WWE Championship match, I'm pretty sure a lot of people across social media complained. The majority of the community complains whenever Brock Lesnar gets a title opportunity when he just comes back. On top of that, just 4 months ago, Roman Reigns came back after a 5-month hiatus, and I was one of the people, including many other people, that complained about him getting a Universal title match just 1 week after he came back. Oh, how about this? How about the fact that William Goldberg, just returned 2 weeks ago, and he challenged Drew McIntyre, and now he's getting a WWE Championship match. Correct me if I'm wrong, but I'm pretty fucking sure that the entire fucking community complained about Goldberg. So don't give me this fucking sexism excuse. The stupidity that oozes from this woman, the stupidity that comes from this woman's mouth, and the fact of the matter is that some people buy into this bullshit, that goes to show you how fucking dumb the people of society really are nowadays. She ends by saying, I am in the title picture and I will always be in the title picture. It's one of those unfortunate side effects of excelling at something. You wouldn't understand. Bitch, listen here. Don't give me the excuse of, oh, that's one of the unfortunate side effects of excelling at something. Don't give me that bullshit. If that was the case, Sasha Banks would be a 13-time women's champion. Naomi would be a 13-time women's champion. Bayley would be a 13-time women's champion. Bianca Belair, Candice LeRae, Shotzi Blackheart, Shayna Baszler, all of those women would be in your position, but they're not. And you know why? It's because they don't have the last name Flair. No one is saying that you don't deserve success. No one is saying that you're not a good wrestler. I've said that you're a good wrestler. The problem is that you have all of these accomplishments and you're constantly here throughout the course of your entire career. Where is there going to be room for anyone else? Where is there going to be room for Bianca or Naomi or Baszler or Candice or Rhea or Shayna or Shotzi? Where's there going to be any room for those women? Why is it that you constantly have to be here and no other women can ever reach that level? That's what I don't understand. And nobody should always be in the title picture. Nobody. If it was Sasha in that position, if it was Bianca, if it was Naomi, if it was anyone in that position, I would complain just as much. Because nobody should be in that position and nobody should be getting all of those accomplishments in such a short amount of time. It actually has an adverse effect. And it's shown. Charlotte Flair, whether you want to admit it or not, is a self-centered, egotistical cunt. She's a self-centered, egotistical cunt. End of story, period. And if she's watching right now, good. I hope she heard every single word that I had to say. And the only reason why she or anyone has any reason, the only reason why she or anyone has any reason to be mad at what I just said is because they know that I am right. Everything that came out of my mouth, it ain't opinion, motherfucker. It is stone cold facts. And if you don't like it, you can suck my dick. I don't care. Those are your news, rumors, and reports. Let's check the chat. I think I lost my voice. Oh, bro. Cool King. I know. People are watching. People are absolutely watching. Check the chat. Ruben Day. He is not a fan of Flair and Evans. Al Gore's Internet, SMH, says Cool King. Adam, who's worse at using social media, Charlotte Flair or Seth Rollins? Man, I don't fucking know. Rollins has been actually pretty quiet, although I haven't really seen too much from Rollins because he blocked me, because he's a pussy. Charlotte Flair is missing a brain cell. Dude, Charlotte Flair has no fucking brain cells. What are you talking about? And sorry about the lag. Sorry about the lag. My connection's a little poor. I don't know why it's what's going on here? It's a little laggy, but we're going to continue going on. I'm looking at it right here. I'm looking at it right here, and it seems fine. I'm watching the stream myself. It doesn't really seem too bad. Huh. That's weird. What do we got over here? Charlotte Flair has the same brain cells as Dolph Ziggler, 0. Tell me about it, bro. Tell me about it. So, continuing on with the Lightning Flash update. Glad it's fine. Please just keep me updated. Please just keep me updated. Right now it's not lagging, which is good. Just please keep me updated. Oh my God! Don't even get me started on Bully Ray. I just wasted all my energy. Arguing. I just wasted all my energy, not arguing. I just wasted all my energy ranting on Charlotte herself. I can't waste any more energy ranting on Bully Ray. But we're going to get into the weekly show reviews. We got a lot to talk about here on the weekly show reviews. And I'm telling you right now, for Monday Night Raw, I usually take about 5 to 6 pages worth of notes. I didn't even take 3 pages worth of notes. I did not even take 3 pages worth of notes for Monday Night Raw. Not even 3. So, Monday Night Raw, and usually I try to find some type of redeeming quality, some type of redeeming aspect about the show, but there was legitimately not one single redeeming aspect about Monday Night. I'm not even bullshitting you. I don't even know why I even took 3 hours out of my day to watch this shit. And there's a small part of me that is actually happy that I'm going back to college next Thursday, because now there's going to be a chance where I won't even have to fucking review this shit. I don't know what the fuck. They were doing, and I don't know how many people were shorthanded from COVID, but this show was fucking terrible. This may have been, I'm not even bullshitting you, and I'm not even trying to over-exaggerate. This may be one of the worst. This may be one of the worst Monday Night Raws that I've personally ever watched. Triple H came out to kick off the show. He welcomed everyone to Monday Night Raw. Before he could even get a word out, though, Randy Orton interrupted him, and he said that the office decided to show up because Drew McIntyre couldn't. He says, I think you're going to make an official ruling. Are you going to give me the last spot in the Rumble, or are you going to give me the WWE Championship? So Triple H said, you got to win the Rumble. He said, I wanted the old Randy Orton to step back into the dance. Lots of people thought you crossed the line, but I watched you light that match, and I watched The Fiend sizzle. But you going after Ric Flair when it does nothing for you proves that Randy Orton is a no-good prick. So Orton says, I'm at my peak. What do you say? Is the Cerebral Assassin still in there? Is the Game still in there? He then challenged Triple H to a match. Triple H then said no. He then said no before we had Randy Orton saying, hey, can you do me a favor, and the next time you see Stephanie, can you ask her to retrieve your balls from her purse? So Triple H then walked back, and he gave Randy Orton a stiff right hand, and Randy Orton fell out of the ring, and he said, I guess that means yes. I'm not going to sit here and tell you that the promo was horrible, but if you have to use Triple H in order to generate interest on Monday Night Raw, in the second week of 2021, when A, we haven't seen Triple H wrestle in a year and a half, B, the storyline with Randy Orton doesn't even make any sense. C, Randy Orton more likely than not is going to go into a feud with Edge following the Rumble. And D, we still got this Alexa Bliss, Randy Orton, Fiend storyline going on. I don't know what the fuck their motive here was, but in no way, shape, or form was using Triple H justifiable. None. Don't use COVID as an excuse. Lacey Evans versus Charlotte Flair. This is your weekly reminder. Fuck Charlotte Flair and all of her supporters. Flair was in control for the beginning portions before Ric Flair came out. Yes, Ric Flair, styling and profiling, strutting, made his way down to the ring. He was in a good mood, strutting as usual. Flair hit natural selection, but Rick put Lacey Evans' foot on the ropes. Charlotte said, "Stay your ass at home," before Ric Flair tripped up Charlotte and held her foot down, and Lacey won the match, and she celebrated with Rick afterwards. Before this match took place, well, after this match took place, we were not even 2 weeks into 2021 by the time this match was over, and we already had a contender for worst match of the year. Think about that. And that is not by design. That is not by design. That just goes to show you how terrible Lacey Evans really is. Lacey Evans is a fucking disease to the women's division. If you don't like it, go fuck yourself. I don't know why the fuck they are pairing Ric Flair up with Lacey Evans. I don't know what the fuck the motive is. I really don't. I don't know what the fuck the motive is. I don't know what the fuck they're doing with Charlotte Flair. Look, we all know what the end game is for Charlotte Flair. We all know that she's going to be the one to beat Asuka for the Raw Women's Championship. I don't know why they are taking such an excessively long amount of time to just do it. I would have just done it at the Rumble, and then I would have been done with it. I would have done it at the Rumble, and I would have been done with it. I really don't fucking understand why you're wasting all of this time. I don't know why the fuck you're wasting all of this time having Rick feud with Charlotte vicariously through Lacey Evans. Are Lacey Evans and Peyton Royce going to win the tag team titles? God, I fucking hope not. God, I fucking hope not. I don't understand what they're doing. I don't understand what the motive is, but I really don't give a shit. I don't give a shit, and I don't think the majority of the community gives a shit either. Again, the only people that actually give a shit about what's going on with Charlotte are the stands and the Charlotte Flair tit lickers. I don't give a shit. Are we really going to have to sit through 3 months of this before Charlotte eventually takes the Raw Women's title off of Asuka at WrestleMania? Jeff Hardy versus Elias, or originally it was supposed to be Jeff Hardy versus Elias. Elias then came out. He says that he got injured while recording, and Jeff will now face Jackson Ryker. Ryker says, Elias creates his music to inspire, and now I'm inspired to destroy. So Elias distracted Hardy, and Ryker rolled up Hardy for the win in 30 seconds. Hardy then took the microphone and said, "Get in this ring and face me. You're afraid that people will see that Jackson Ryker is better than you." Elias then told Ryker not to get involved, and then we go into a commercial. I don't know what the fuck their motive here was, but can I ask you a question? Why the fuck do we need to sit through Jeff Hardy losing to Jackson Ryker just to get a match with Elias? How about, instead of booking a match that we've already seen 3 times within the course of a month, how about you just have Ryker and Hardy go 30 seconds, or not even go 30 seconds, go about, 8-9 minutes through a commercial break, and how about you just have Hardy and Ryker face off, because at least that would have been new and fresh. Or if your motive was to have Elias and Hardy to begin with, why didn't you just book Elias and Hardy from the get-go instead of a 30-second matchup with Hardy and Ryker? Or how about this? Don't even book the match at all! How about you don't even book the match at all? Does nobody fucking think? So now we got to sit through something that we've seen 3 times within a month. I thought the Symphony of Destruction match was going to be the end, but apparently not. Twist of Fate, Swanton Bomb, Hardy wins. This match was fucking boring. Who gives a shit? Keith Lee and Sheamus versus Miz and Morrison. Hey, hey, ho, ho, Miz and Morrison. Now you gotta deal with Miz and Morrison. I have to deal with a backstage segment with them saying correct about like 5 fucking different times. Hey, Dominic, hey, DJ Storms, did you care about this match? Oh, no, I didn't care about this match. Lee avalanched Morrison into the corner, and the top turnbuckle just fucking exploded. So coming back from commercial, the turnbuckle was then secured again. Sheamus was isolated before Lee ended up getting the hot tag. He was tossing around both Miz and Morrison. Sheamus tagged in, bro kick, and he pinned Morrison to win. Are Miz and Morrison still complete scrubs? Oh, why, yes, they are. Correct. I'll give you a fucking correct. Shove the correct up your ass. I'm going to ask y'all a question. And I want you to respond in the chat with a correct. Is DJ Storms God? That's the question. Is DJ Storms God? Respond with a correct. So coming back from commercial, Lee and Sheamus were angry at each other, like 2 fucking children. We get an impromptu matchup. Sheamus targeted the arm of Keith Lee. Sheamus then with a diving clothesline and a punt knee strike for a 2. Lee fought out of the armbar and hit the spirit bomb for the win, and then afterwards, Sheamus hugged Keith Lee. I don't know what the fuck the motive of this was, but Keith Lee beat Sheamus. I don't know what the fuck they're doing. I legitimately don't know. Everything was all over the fucking place with this show. I legitimately do not know where to even fucking begin. There was literally no sense of direction with this show. So Drew McIntyre was on a video call. He was on a video call, and he revealed he did test positive for COVID, but he also accepted Goldberg's challenge for the Royal Rumble event. So it's official. We get Goldberg versus Drew McIntyre. We got Oldberg, Cocaine Beardberg, Mustangberg, Gasberg, Jojo Donahoe. Oldberg is challenging McIntyre. In case you are unaware, please hit that like button. Oh, here we go. One of my favorite parts of the show. T-Balls was in action against Xavier Woods. And T-Balls won with the Feast Your Eyes. By the way, he made himself look like a complete fucking idiot earlier this week. He made himself look like a complete fucking idiot with Sammy Guevara. I don't know what the fuck they are having him do. But T-Balls beat Xavier Woods with Feast Your Eyes. And Retribution continues to be a complete fucking failure of a group. Speaking of a failure, Matt Riddle and his main roster run has been a complete failure. Riddle and Bobby Lashley have a United States Championship match. This match did not even go 3 minutes. This match didn't even go 3 minutes. Lashley attacked Riddle before the bell even rang. Riddle said he wanted to fight. Bell rang. Riddle tried to fight back, but he got dropped within a minute and a half, and Riddle tapped out to the Hurt Lock. This is the same guy. This is the same guy that went 20 minutes inside the fight pit in May, not even a year ago, with Timothy Thatcher, and he passed out. He didn't tap out, he passed out. But here he is, tapping out in 3 minutes to Bobby Lashley. Riddle then said, I couldn't beat Lashley, but I can damn sure beat you. Obviously, he was talking to MVP. MVP then started walking back. He started taking his suit off, and we get the match. Riddle then delivered a PK to Lashley before Lashley came in and hit the spear. Riddle won via DQ, and they beat down Matt Riddle afterwards. People, let me tell you something. If they wanted to give Matt Riddle the United States Championship, they would have given Matt Riddle the United States Championship already. If they wanted to give Matt Riddle the United States Championship, they would not have booked him in the way that they booked him this past Monday on Raw. All Vince McMahon sees Matt Riddle as is a figurative chew toy for the hungry pitbull that is Bobby Lashley. Matt Riddle is completely buried. The fact that this man, like I said, he went 20 minutes in the fight pit with Timothy Thatcher, and he passed out to a sleeper hold. He didn't tap out. He passed out. But yet, here he is with Bobby Lashley. Here he is with Bobby Lashley, and he taps out in less than 3 minutes. Goes to show you what Vince McMahon thinks of him. Matt Riddle is dead. Matt Riddle's absolutely dead. Drew Gulak versus AJ Styles. This is a Royal Rumble qualifying match for Gulak. I don't know what's more embarrassing. I really don't know what's more embarrassing. The fact that everyone can just declare their entry into the Rumble, but Gulak has to earn his way in, and he lost. Or the fact that WWE slapped on these bright-ass orange pants on him. I don't know what the fuck he was wearing, but it did not look good. It looked absolutely fucking comical. It looked absolutely fucking comical. I don't know what the fuck that they put on Drew Gulak, but those tights, those pants looked terrible on him. What happened to the normal trunks? What happened to the normal trunks? I don't know what the fuck they did to Gulak, but those pants did not look good at all. AJ Styles wins with the phenomenal forearm. Drew Gulak is not going to the Rumble. Goes to show you what WWE thinks of Drew Gulak. Shayna Baszler and Nia Jax versus Mandy Rose and Dana Brooke. Nia Jax delivered a Samoan drop before Dana Brooke broke it up. Jax and Baszler had some dissension. Baszler tagged herself in. Kira Fuda clutch for the win, and Mandy Rose taps out. So, let me get this straight. So, Shayna Baszler can win with Nia Jax, but she can't win on her own. Really. She can win with Nia Jax, but she can't win on her own. But people want to tell me that Shayna Baszler is not ruined on the main roster. Sure. So we get the main segment. Triple H came out in street clothes. He was ready for a fight before Orton came out. He came out in his ring gear. He slid in before Triple H caught him with a right hand. Orton then took advantage. Triple H then kicked Orton. Or Triple H got kicked by Orton. Triple H then sent Orton shoulder first into the steps before Triple H hit a back suplex on the announce table to Orton. Triple H then brought out a sledgehammer before the lights started going out little by little. The lights go out and the sledgehammer was on fire. Sledgehammer was on fire. And Triple H was then gone from the ring as the lights went out. The Firefly Funhouse jingle played. Alexa Bliss was in the ring. Orton was looking around for the Fiend. Alexa Bliss showed the pain glove, the pain wrist-taped hand, and she threw a fireball in Orton's eyes, and he started rolling around in pain. He started screaming, ah. And that's how Monday Night Raw went off the air. So you bring Triple H back to have a 4-minute brawl with Orton, only to have Alexa Bliss throw a fucking fireball in Orton's eyes. My mind is just absolutely fucking fried. It's fried crispier than the fucking fried chicken that I serve at my supermarket. I don't know what the fuck to say. I don't know how the fuck to react. But Jesus Christ. This Raw was fucking dry. I feel like this Raw took 10 years off my fucking life. And I'm only 21. I'm going to be 22 on April 2nd. Less than 3 months, I'm going to be 22 years old. And I feel like my life is already half over just from watching Monday Night Raw. Monday Night Raw was fucking terrible. There was not one redeeming, and there was not one positive on the show. Not one. That was Monday Night Raw. Let's check the chat. Let's check the chat before we move on to AEW Dark. Earl, I believe, is still in here. He's gonna have some pork chops. Man, I could use some fucking pork chops, dude. If you got any, come over here. Come on, share. I could use some fucking pork chops. I would rather eat some fucking pork chops than watch Monday Night Raw. Raw sucks. Ms. Morrison are fucking losers, says Nick Fury. Damn right. I'm not dabbing. Glad that Kay is laughing. Jojo, thank you for stopping by. Enough of Goldberg. Very true. Earl Cole says cocaine is rumored what Goldberg took. My God, I wouldn't be surprised. Breaking news, I'm entering the Men's Royal Rumble, says Nick Fury. Also says Cool King. I might as well declare my entry in there too. Fury's Nation, I have zero sympathy for Drew Gulak. He could have left the company when he had the chance. I don't have any sympathy for him either, bro. Why can't Orton retire, says Danielle, because Orton is in really good shape, that's why. Earl Cole says, what are you doing? Please use the hashtag. I am a young buck. Earl, please don't apologize. Please don't apologize. Trust me, people come here for the bad language. People come here for the bad language because they absolutely love the cursing. Raw's the worst show on television, says Furious Nation. Dynamite was awesome. We're going to talk about Dynamite. Trust me, we'll talk about Dynamite. Dynamite is doing some really, really good stuff. Another solid show for Dynamite. Adam says there were two positives on Raw. Those were the SmackDown and the NXT promo packages. Tell me about it. We're going to move on to AEW Dark, but before we do that, we are at 18 likes, and my Twitter's blowing up. We are at 18 likes. I need you guys to continue to share out the stream. We are at 18 likes. We are almost at 20. We are very, 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 very close to reaching the halfway point. We are very, very close to reaching the halfway point. The goal here is 50. Yes, the goal here is 50 likes. I need y'all to share it out. I need y'all to get the people in here. We are at 11 people. We are at 19 likes. We just got to 19 likes. That's what I'm talking about. I need y'all to keep it coming. We are going to get to at least the halfway point. The goal here is 50 likes. We only see 19. We are an hour plus into the stream. I need more. I need more, people. I need y'all to keep it coming. We got 2 more hours left in the stream, and we're going to be talking about a lot more material, including AEW Dark. I'm going to start talking about that right now. Keep on sharing it out, all platforms of social media. AEW Dark, nothing more than an enhancement show. I didn't really pay much attention to it. I barely even took a page of notes on it. We're just going to skim through the results really quickly. Mike Verna versus Ricky Starks. Ricky Starks wins with a spear. Jurassic Express versus Fuego del Sol and Ryzen. Jungle Boy makes Fuego del Sol submit with a STF. Ty Conti versus Marty Daniels. Conti wins with the Ty KO is what she's calling it, which I have no problem with. The Dark Order took on Sean Dean, Zach Clayton, Adam Priest, Danny Lionwhite, and Batty Morales. Dark Order wins with the fatality. Louis Valley versus Powerhouse Hobbs. Hobbs wins with the World's Strongest Slam. We had Red Velvet versus Leva Bates. Leva Bates is garbage. Red Velvet wins with the shotgun kick. Dark Order, John Silver and Alex Reynolds took on Casey Navarro and El Australiano. Reynolds gets the win with the small package driver. He took some inspiration from Rollins on that, I assume. Varsity Blondes versus Lee Johnson and Aaron Solo. Varsity Blondes win with the dropkick powerbomb combination. Anna Jay versus Alex Gracia. Queen Slayer for the win. Serena Deeb versus Tesha Price. Modified Styles Clash by Deeb for the win. Baron Black versus Nick Camarado versus Bear Country. Bear Country looked good. Bear Country wins with the assisted splash. They're coming along very nicely. And then in the main event, Chaos Project versus Top Flight. Top Flight wins with the assisted drop kick to Serpentico's head, trapped in the buckle, and that was that. Yes, Earl Cole, I did hear the report on Dynamite being postponed until September 15th in Newark. I'm going to be there. I know you'll be there. I know my friend Maria Rose, she's going to be there. She's probably not watching, but I know she's a big supporter of mine. She's a good friend of mine. I know that she's going to be there. I know that my man Joseph Conlon hopefully is going to be there, but I will be there. I'll be there for dinner as well. We're going to have a nice porterhouse steak. If you know a nice steakhouse by the Prudential Center, please let me know, because I do want to go and I want to get a nice steak. I want to get a nice steak with some barbecue sauce, you know? Nice steak with some barbecue sauce. Maybe a baked potato on the side with some scallions and some melted cheddar cheese. Am I making you hungry yet? So we're going to move on to AEW Dynamite. Dynamite was a very, very, very good show. New Year's Smash Night 2 was a home run. A lot of people are going to say that Night 1 was better than Night 2 based off of that classic with Rey Fenix and Kenny Omega. I would really not put it past anyone to think that. But I really do favor Night 2, and I'm going to explain why. Mainly because Night 2, I feel as though had a better flow, and Night 1 didn't really... Night 1... It had that one little blip, which was Abaddon and Hikaru Shida, but the women's match on Night 2 was definitely better than the women's match on Night 1. So I got to give credit where credit's due. Ty Conti and Serena Deeb put on a very good match for what it was for the NWA Women's World Championship. We're going to talk about that a little later on, but Dynamite, very good show, and Tony Khan is really doing a very good job at laying out the foundation for a big year for AEW. So we're going to talk about AEW. I know Danielle watched it. So AEW Dynamite New Year's Smash Night 2 started off with Pac versus Eddie Kingston. Pac went right after Kingston before the bell even rang. We had a big corkscrew plancha over the top. Pac with the punt kick to the face of Eddie Kingston. Kingston took over control with an exploder suplex on the floor. They started trading strikes before Pac delivered a snap German suplex. Kingston with a very nice flurry here with a back fist and enziguri and a backdrop driver for a 2. Pac then with an enziguri to Kingston on the top. A big superplex by Pac for a 2. Very evenly offensed match before Kingston favored his left arm. And then Pac dropped Kingston, I believe it was with a super kick, and then he hit the Black Arrow, and Pac wins a very, very good match to kick off New Year's Smash. Afterwards, he locked in the Brutalizer before everyone got in the ring. Lance Archer made his way down to the ring and sent Kingston and his family packing, and then Archer said, you better get on the same page or there'll be hell to pay, Pac. So Pac gets the win. Pac gets the win over Eddie Kingston in a very, very good match. Pac and Kingston are excellent professional wrestlers. Pac and Kingston are excellent professional wrestlers. Very, very impressed with them. Right outcome, by the way. Pac gets the win. I can definitely see Eddie Kingston trying to turn Pac and Lance Archer against each other, and I can definitely see a possible triple threat match at Revolution, which I wouldn't mind. Kingston's problems are long done. Not done. They're far from done. Excuse me, bad wording there. Kingston's problems are far from done. Kingston is going to have Lance Archer to worry about. Kingston is going to have Pac to worry about still. So if anything, I can definitely see Pac, Lance Archer, and Eddie Kingston triple threat match at Revolution, and I can see Pac getting the win by pinning Eddie Kingston. He doesn't have to pin Lance Archer, and then Lance Archer and Eddie Kingston, they can do their own thing. Pac undoubtedly is your next TNT champion. By Double or Nothing, by May, Pac is going to be your next TNT champion. There is no one better. Nobody better for the TNT championship than Pac. And then, down the line, I'm telling you right now, we're going to be getting Pac versus Sammy Guevara. And that is going to be a huge fucking matchup. Be prepared. Very good match. Pac gets the win, rightfully so. Archer and Kingston, they're going to be going at it sooner rather than later, but I can see a triple threat match at Revolution. Pac's going to win. Pac is undoubtedly your next TNT champion. Chuck Taylor took on the best man, Miro. Chuck went right after Miro. We had a big tope con hero before Kip took out Cassidy. Miro then came back with a flurry of offense, a big Samoan drop, a spinning heel kick, big super kick, and then he locked in the game over, and Chuck tapped out. Chuck is going to be Miro's butler for the next month up until Beach Break. The match was short, didn't really do anything, really nothing special, nothing you're going to go back and rewatch, but I really do like how they made Miro look like a beast. And this is what I'm really looking forward to. I thought that they were going to go forth with the best friends versus Kip and Miro. But apparently, it seems as though since Trent is out with a torn pectoral muscle, excuse me. Trent is out with a torn pectoral muscle, so he's going to be out for 5 months. If we're going to see Chuck Taylor as Miro's butler leading up into Beach Break on February 3rd, Revolution is on the 27th of February. I would not mind seeing this match. I would not mind seeing this match whatsoever. I think that things are going to be leading to Orange Cassidy versus Miro. And that is something I would love to fucking see. That should be an excellent undercard match for Revolution. That could be the sleeper match of Revolution. We saw what John Silver and Orange Cassidy did all the way back at Full Gear. If we get Orange Cassidy and Miro on Revolution, that's going to be a great fucking match. And Miro looking as dominant as he's been, he gets the win over Cassidy. Miro is going to be having a huge breakout year. And Miro's still undefeated in AEW. Miro's looked like a beast. And Miro getting the win over Orange Cassidy, that could possibly propel Miro to possibly fight Kenny Omega for the World Championship. I don't think that's going to happen so soon. But if anything, Miro and Orange Cassidy, that's really going to help get Miro over as a dominant heel because Orange Cassidy is just so over as a babyface. That I cannot wait to see. Miro and Orange Cassidy, very, very intriguing. Very intriguing, to be quite frank. Matt Hardy and Private Party had a segment backstage. Hardy acting like Vince McMahon, saying that they were nobodies before him, and you should listen to me, and when I say jump, you say how high. So, interesting relationship, interesting bond forming between Private Party and Matt Hardy. Very interested to see where that goes. The Inner Circle, they came out to talk about their New Year's resolutions. Jericho said, who wants to start? So Hager said, championships, yeah! So MJF was like, all right, good job, Miley, championships. MJF said he looks to strengthen bonds, and fat people gotta go. So Ortiz says he wants to learn how to make his grandma's special recipe. The crowd booed. MJF is like, you're booing food? So obviously MJF being the witty son of a bitch that he is. Jericho said him and MJF are going to be the tag team champions. Santana actually objected to this. He said, wait, hold up. Chris, you picked us to be the team in AEW. You picked us to be the team in the Inner Circle. Sammy then interrupted, and he called Jericho a tag team slut. Jericho was shocked. Sammy and MJF then got into it, and Jericho said, all right, you know what? We need to get rid of some animosity. So how about this? Next week, we're going to have a three-way tag team match to see who is going to be the official tag team of the Inner Circle. MJF said, no matter what happens, we are still the Inner Circle, we are still a brotherhood, and we're better than you, and you know it. And then they put in the middle finger, fist, and that was that. I absolutely love the unpredictability. The unpredictability is what's making this entire storyline, and I absolutely love it. This is something that I love about AEW, is the fact that they are unpredictable in what they do. And what we have right here is a scenario where you don't know where they're going to go. MJF obviously is waiting in the wings to do something. Something's going to happen with MJF. We're just waiting for that. We got Santana objecting, and I like that Santana objected because he hasn't really been too vocal about the tensions between the Inner Circle. He's been very quiet. Ortiz and Sammy and MJF, they've been the vocal ones. But now Santana finally said something. That I like. And Santana and Ortiz, I really do hope they win next week. This is a very, very, very intriguing storyline, and I am definitely looking forward to seeing what happens with MJF. I expect Santana and Ortiz to win, but I'm very looking forward to seeing what happens with MJF. MJF is going to be the catalyst towards sparking that next big chapter in this storyline. And sooner rather than later, MJF is going to break away from the Inner Circle, and MJF is going to be on his own again with Wardlow, and MJF is going to be challenging Adam Hangman Page for the World Championship. Just watch. We had the Elite versus Danny Limelight and the Varsity Blondes, or so we thought was the Elite. Callis then took the microphone, and he was about to introduce the Young Bucks, or so we thought he was about to introduce the Young Bucks. But he said, ladies and gentlemen, let me introduce to you your World Tag Team Champions and Kenny Omega's two best friends, the Good Brothers. And we got the Good Brothers, yes, Carl Anderson and Luke Gallows coming out with the Impact World Tag Team Championships, might I add. And they look great, by the way. They look great. So he introduced the Good Brothers, and they kept the aggression up on Limelight. He made the tag to Pillman before Pillman and Garrison. They got some decent offense. They look pretty decent. Anderson then with the machine gun kick for a 2. Limelight then caught a spine buster, and the Good Brothers hit the Magic Killer for the win, and the Elite get the victory. Now, I understand what they were trying to do. And I don't mind that, but if we're going to be quite honest, the match itself wasn't terrible. Danny Limelight and the Varsity Blondes, I understand you want to make them look decent, but if you were going to have this match go a little longer than expected, then you should have saved it for next week. We didn't really need an immediate follow-up. Because, if anything, you could have given more time to the NWA Women's World Championship match, and you could have given more time to the TNT Championship match. And you could have made those 2 matches the main focal points of the show, which they were, but I just wish they could have gotten a little bit more time, if you know what I'm saying. The match wasn't bad, but if anything, it went too long. It was decent. It wasn't terrible. Good Brothers and Kenny Omega looked great, and I like what they're doing, and I like the tension that they're starting to build. I love the unpredictability factor of this storyline too, but at the same point in time, the time management is everything. If you were going to have this go a little bit longer than expected, then if anything, you should have asked for an extension on TNT. Like another half-hour extension on TNT to give the TNT title match and the Women's Championship match more time, if you know what I mean. The match wasn't bad. But more likely than not, everyone's just going to look at this as a standard showcase for the Good Brothers and Omega. Afterwards, Jon Moxley came out. He came down the aisle. He went after everyone before the Lucha Bros came out to save Moxley. The locker room then started emptying. Moxley then with a suicide dive, taking out the pile. The Young Bucks tried to calm down Moxley before the Lucha Bros super kicked the Young Bucks. So it looks like the Lucha Bros are going to be going after the Young Bucks in the tag team titles. That's going to be very, very interesting, to say the least. I'm not sure what's going to happen. I'm not sure if we're getting the Young Bucks joining the Good Brothers and Kenny Omega. It doesn't look like it, considering there's tension because Callis introduced the Good Brothers, and Callis didn't introduce the Young Bucks as Kenny Omega's tag team. So things are starting to really fall into place for something big. We don't know whether it's going to lead to an Elite takeover or whether it's going to lead to the Good Brothers versus the Young Bucks. We don't know if the Young Bucks are going to show up at Hard to Kill, which is tonight, by the way. Hard to Kill is tonight. For anyone who is watching Impact Wrestling, Hard to Kill is tonight. We don't know if that's going to happen. The Young Bucks could end up showing up on Impact Wrestling. The Lucha Bros could end up showing up on Impact Wrestling. It's a very, very interesting scenario. Nonetheless. But there's a lot of moving elements, and I think that what Tony Khan wants us to do is Tony Khan wants us to just sit back, relax, and enjoy the ride. And I'm very much looking forward to seeing what happens in the coming months. This is going to be very, very interesting leading up to Revolution. We got the waiting room with Dr. Britt Baker, DMD. She introduced Cody Rhodes. She was making little humorous jokes about Cody Rhodes. And then she said she has another guest, and she introduced Jade Cargill. So she stole Cody's mic, and she said, "Nobody gives a damn if Brandy is pregnant." And she asked where her opponent is. "If Brandy ever returns, I'm going to beat that ass." And then all of a sudden, Red Velvet came onto the set, and we got a big brawl breaking out between Jade Cargill and Red Velvet. And then we had Thunder Rosa come up on the Titantron, and she made Britt Baker aware of the fact that the match between her and Britt Baker was made for Beach Break on February 3rd. And Britt Baker was like, no, wait, Tony, you said I didn't have to wrestle her. And that's how the waiting room ended. Now, first things first, let's address Jade Cargill. Let's hope that she is better in the ring than she is on the microphone, because she has a long way to go on the motherfucking microphone. She is not good on the microphone. I am sorry. I don't care who likes her. I don't care who's a fan of her. She is fucking terrible on the microphone. She's not good. She's got a long way to go. Now, she was better. She was a little better on the microphone here than she was the first time around. She was a little bit better this time than she was the first time, and I guess it's because she said less words. She was a little better, but it's not a huge step in the right direction. But let's just hope she's better in the ring than she is on the microphone. I would much rather focus on Jade Cargill in the ring, and I would much rather focus on her as an in-ring competitor rather than Shaq and Cody. Now, Shaq was brought up. I hope that they don't really follow through on that. Shaq has not shown face in weeks, which thank God he hasn't. Thank fucking Christ he hasn't. We'll see what happens there, but Red Velvet and Jade Cargill, I'm willing to give it a chance. Red Velvet is actually very good. She has a terrible fucking name, but she's a very good pro wrestler. I like watching Red Velvet wrestle. She's actually very fluid. She's actually very crisp in the ring. The size may deceive you, but Red Velvet is actually a very good wrestler. She is. Jade Cargill, let's see what she can do in the ring. She has the look. She has the look. Let's see if she has the in-ring skill. If the only thing that she needs to work on is her promo ability, then so be it. Let's see what she can do in the ring. Now, as far as the waiting room goes, I'm not going to bullshit you. I'm not going to bullshit you. I hate wrestling-inspired talk shows. I fucking hate it. I absolutely fucking hate it, but let me tell you something. The waiting room's grown on me. Now I'm not a huge advocate for wrestling-inspired talk shows. I'm not a huge advocate for the waiting room. But I'm going to tell you what. The waiting room has definitely grown on me. It didn't overstay its welcome. It didn't throw down any cheesy humor. And Britt Baker's actually coming along really well. And if anything, Britt Baker, if she keeps this up, and if she can put on a great match with Thunder Rosa at Beach Break, Britt Baker is ultimately going to be your next AEW Women's World Champion at Revolution, and I wouldn't mind that whatsoever. I would not mind that at all. So, you know what? Let's see what she can do. Let's see what she can do. Let's see what she has to offer. I do not mind this whatsoever. I did not mind the waiting room. It has grown on me. I didn't like it at first. I fucking hated it at first. I hate wrestling-inspired talk shows. They suck. But you know what? The waiting room has not overstayed its welcome. It's not been too overbearing. And it's gotten Britt Baker over in the manner in which they want to get her over. It's gotten her over as a condescending bitch. It's gotten her over as an annoying cunt. And I have no problem with that. I think that they've done a very good job with the waiting room. I'm not going to bullshit you. And it's certainly, and yes, indeed, Earl, it is certainly better than Bayley's Ding Dong Hello Show. So, after this, we got Jurassic Express versus FTR. Marco Stunt was taking the place of Mr. Luchasaurus. FTR didn't take too kindly to Marco Stunt's defiance. They were dissecting him before we had some beautiful teamwork by Jurassic Express. Tope Suicida on FTR by Marco, and then Jungle Boy with a plancha as well. Marco was then isolated before Jungle Boy got the hot tag. He lit up FTR. We had a backstabber on Harwood for a 2. We had a Hurricane Rana on Harwood for a 2 by Marco Stunt, and a Brainbuster by Jungle Boy on Cash. Marco then tagged in. Harwood shut down his momentum. Marco with a low blow behind the referee's back and a cutter out of the corner for a 2. Tully then shoved Marco Stunt into the post, and Cash took out Jungle Boy. Then they hit the Goodnight Express on Marco Stunt for the win. This was good. This was good. A good match for what it was. Many people aren't really too big of a fan of Marco Stunt. Marco Stunt is really a glorified enhancement talent. He can wrestle. He can certainly fucking wrestle. but he's nothing more than a glorified enhancement talent. He's there to help get people over, and he did a good job at selling for FTR. Good match. Good. Solid. Nothing too crazy. Nothing too over the top. Jurassic Express, I do see. Jurassic Express taking the titles off of the Young Bucks, but it's not going to be yet. If anything, I have a feeling that they may be building towards FTR versus the Young Bucks again, and that's going to be an interim match at Revolution. So that way we can have the Young Bucks get another title defense in there, because they only have one title defense in there against the Acclaim. So I definitely believe that the Bucks are going to have a longer title reign extending past Revolution. Maybe we see the match at Beach Break. Who knows? So then we get Serena Deeb versus Ty Conti for the NWA Women's World Championship. This was a decent match. It went about 8 minutes. This was absolutely better than the Women's Championship match that we saw back on New Year's Smash Night 1 with Abaddon and Shida. That has nothing to do with Shida. Abaddon just fucking sucks. But Serena Deeb and Ty Conti for the NWA Women's World Championship. Decent match right here. Serena Deeb is great. Ty Conti, I'm telling you right now, Ty Conti is coming along very nicely. She was very green in NXT. It almost felt like she was restricted with NXT. But ever since she came to AEW, it seems as though she's allowed to go out there and wrestle. And I love what they're doing with Ty Conti. Ty Conti is really coming along, and she's putting on some very good performances. Not a lot of people are giving Ty Conti enough credit. Ty Conti, I know she looks great. She looks like a Victoria's Secret supermodel, but the woman can fucking wrestle. We had some nice back and forth offense. Conti with a big punt kick, a flush fucking punt kick to Serena Deeb. Conti was in control. We had a full Nelson stunner for a 2. Deeb then came back with a gut buster for a 2. Conti with another punt kick, and then Deeb cut Conti off and hit her with a modified Styles Clash for the win. Deeb retains the NWA Women's World Championship. Decent match. Maybe we get Serena Deeb versus Hikaru Shida for the Women's Championship, which I would not mind whatsoever. I think that's going to be a great fucking match if we get that. So Serena Deeb retains the NWA Women's World Championship. Decent match. Ty Conti definitely coming along. I really do hope that they do focus more on the AEW Women's World Championship more so than the NWA Women's World Championship. A decent women's match. Ty Conti's looking really good. But they really need to do more with the AEW Women's Division. We'll see what happens with Hikaru Shida leading up to Revolution. The lineup for next week looks pretty good. It is -1's birthday, and it's going to be Adam Page and the Dark Order taking on Chaos Project and the Hybrid 2. We got Jon Moxley in action next week. We got Nyla Rose versus Layla Hirsch next week. And we got Matt Sydal and Top Flight versus Matt Hardy and Private Party. That is also next week. That should be a very, very, very good show. And in the main event, we got Darby Allin versus Brian Cage for the TNT Championship. If you guys have not watched this match, I urge you all to go out of your way to watch this match, because this match was booked beautifully. And of course, you're going to have some fucking idiots out there like Conan saying, oh my God, Brian Cage is buried. Oh, Darby Allin, he should not be beating a superstar as big as Brian Cage. Darby Allin's too small. You're going to have fucking morons like that saying that Darby Allin is not legit and how Darby Allin is not a legitimate threat and how he shouldn't be the TNT champion, or how Brian Cage deserves better, how Brian Cage is buried. You'll have idiots like that. But this match was booked beautifully, and you know why? Because Brian Cage already has legitimacy. Brian Cage was already legitimate. Brian Cage is already a made man. He's the FTW champion. He is with Taz. Look at his record. He's in the top 5 rankings, and he's only 13-2. He's 13-2. So why are you going to complain that Brian Cage is buried? He's not fucking buried. Look at what they did with Brian Cage here. Brian Cage had a dominating performance. He doesn't need to win. And nor should he have won. Brian Cage was not winning the TNT Championship. The motive here was to make Darby Allin and Brian Cage both look good in the end, and that's exactly what they did. The motive here was to make Darby Allin into an even bigger star than he already was, and the motive was to make Brian Cage look like a complete beast, and they succeeded. This is what they needed to do, and they succeeded with that. This main event was booked perfectly. No change whatsoever should be made to this main event. This main event was an excellent main event. And if you didn't think Darby Allin was a star before this match, now you fucking know that Darby Allin is a fucking star. And if you do not see Darby Allin as a legitimate fucking star after this match, you should not be watching pro wrestling. You should not be even talking about pro wrestling. This was excellent. Excellently booked. Matter of fact, there's a small part of me that actually prefers this match over Kenny Omega and Rey Fenix. Only because of the story and the motive behind this match. We all knew that Kenny Omega and Rey Fenix were going to put on a 5-star classic, but the story with Brian Cage and Darby Allin, and the way that they made Darby Allin look was beautiful. Darby Allin is a fucking superstar, and if anything, he could be your world champion by the end of 2022. Remember that. So, Darby went right after Cage with a tope suicida. He went for a second one, but Cage caught him in a vertical suplex on the floor mid-suicide dive, which was fucking beautiful. I don't know how the fuck Cage managed that. I mean, Darby Allin is small, but the fact that Cage caught him so flush and he delivered a picture-perfect vertical suplex, Cage is a fucking beast. He really is a fucking machine. So Cage then military pressed Darby. Just visualize this. He military pressed Darby Allin over the top rope, over the post, soaring through the air, crashing through the timekeeper's table. Absolutely fucking ridiculous. I thought Darby Allin was fucking done after that. So that looked fucking brutal. Then Cage was in the ring. Cage then suplex carried Darby Allin up the ramp like he's fucking nothing. Darby was busted open right above his eye. Cage then with a released German suplex. Darby started bleeding more. We had an F5, but Darby kicked out at 1. The defiance in Darby Allin, fucking awesome. We had Cage powerbombing Darby Allin rapidly, and what did Darby Allin do? He flipped Cage off. Great. Cage then powerbombed him on the ramp, superplexed him into the ring. Darby kicked out at 1 again. So Darby Allin at this rate is looking like a complete fucking monster. Darby then dropped Cage onto the steps. Cage set up the steps. Cage then got dropped on the steps. Darby Allin, like a fucking madman with a coffin drop, off of the top rope, onto Cage while he's on the steps. Both men make it back into the ring. Darby then with the over-the-top stunner. Darby then used his belt to tie up the legs of Brian Cage. Then he hit a code red for a 2. Cage then kicked out. Cage kicked out, and he hit a double stomp, did Darby Allin. Cage kicked out. Darby Allin was catapulted up to the middle rope. He had a double stomp. And then he went up to the top rope for a coffin drop, but Hook, Taz's son, distracted the ref. And then we had Ricky Starks pulling out the legs of Darby Allin before the lights went out. And who was there? Sting. Sting was there. Sting attacked Starks with the baseball bat. Starks was out. Brian Cage then tried to take advantage. Brian Cage then got caught with a crucifix bomb by Darby Allin off of the middle rope. And Darby Allin with the crucifix bomb captures Cage in a pinfall, and Darby Allin retains the TNT Championship. Darby Allin, if he wasn't a fucking superstar before this main event, now he's a fucking superstar. Absolutely fucking brilliantly booked main event. Cage is going to be fine. Cage hasn't even been with AEW for a year. Cage is with Taz. He's with the FTW Championship. Cage is going to be doing just fine. The motive here was to make Darby Allin look like a star. That's exactly what they did. Darby Allin looked like an absolute fucking superstar, and I absolutely loved what they did. Excellent fucking stuff. Now, we see what the next step is. We see what the next step is. Is it going to be Cage and Sting? Are we going to see a tag team match? Are we going to see Ricky Starks versus Darby Allin? I would not mind seeing Ricky Starks and Darby Allin for the TNT title at Beach Break. Matter of fact, I think that's the route they're going to go. Excellent, excellent, excellent main event. Very good overall episode of Dynamite. Darby Allin is a fucking superstar. Get used to it. Let's check the chat before we move on to NXT. Check the chat before we move on to NXT. Cool King says WWE fucked up by letting go of Ty Conti. Yes, they did. Cross Devil, how you doing? Please hit that thumbs up. We are at 21 thumbs up. Let's see if we can get to 30 likes. I want to get to 30 likes. I need y'all to share out the stream. My Roku is asleep. Thank you for letting me know. Something's going on over here. Unbelievable. Work! It's a live stream. What are you going to do? We got Rich Swann and Pac for the Cruiserweight Championship. Thank you for letting me know. Cross Devil, if you haven't already done so, please hit that thumbs up. Matt Moody! Matt Moody is in the building. That's what I like to see. My man, Matt Moody. If you guys are not following him on Twitter, thank you for coming, Matt Moody. Please follow him on Twitter. Danielle shared the stream again. Please make sure you're sharing out the stream. We are live here on a Saturday, and we are going to be talking about NXT very, very soon. Thank you all for coming. I greatly appreciate every single one of you. We are going to get into the discussion of NXT. Please keep the chat alive. You are not going to want to miss any more moments of the Lightning Flash update right now. Thank you for letting me know that my Roku was asleep. Now we got the stream back up and running for the Royal Rumble. We're going to talk about NXT, and let me tell you something. I am very, very pleased with what they're doing with NXT. It wasn't as good as New Year's Evil, but I'm glad that NXT has one thing back. Now, NXT was missing a lot of things throughout the course of 2020, but the one glaring issue with NXT is the fact that they didn't have a sense of direction. We were just watching these shows out of habit, and we didn't know what they were building towards, right? And on top of that, they had these takeover specials throughout the course of 2020, which were good. They were good, but they didn't announce these takeover specials until 2 weeks before the actual takeover event. So we didn't know what they were building towards. But now they announced the takeover event that's taking place on February 14th. They announced the takeover event that's taking place on February 14th. Very, very pleased about that. They announced the takeover event. And now we got the Dusty Rhodes Tag Team Classic. We got the Women's Dusty Rhodes Tag Team Classic. NXT, I'm watching, and it felt like it had a sense of direction. It felt like it really had a sense of purpose, and that's what I want to see out of a wrestling show. That's what I like about it. And I got to give a lot of credit to Triple H. He is really busting his ass to make sure that NXT has that love and has that admiration, making sure that NXT finally has that aura and mystique back. This was a very good episode of NXT. Nothing too crazy, nothing too over the top. We did get some really good wrestling throughout the course of the night. And the main roster influence, I can tell, is starting to scale back, which I like. The main roster influence is scaled back, so now we just got to wait and see what else Triple H has in store. But New Year's Evil was a great show. NXT this week, very good show. We got a lot of Dusty Rhodes Tag Team Classic action, and I'm very, very happy to say that NXT, it seems to be on the road to recovery. If they can continue this, I really do hope the streak continues. I really do hope the streak continues. But NXT this week, very, very good. Very, very good. Let's talk about it. Let's talk about it. So Shotzi Blackheart versus Candice LeRae started off the show. LeRae with a springboard crossbody to the outside, taking out Blackheart. She remained in control before Blackheart came back with an enziguri, a question mark kick, and a cannonball on the ropes. Blackheart then with a DDT on the apron to LeRae. We had a suicide dive taking out both LeRae and Hartwell. LeRae with a short super kick for a 2. She locked in the Gargano escape, but Blackheart was able to fight out of it, and she hit a spinning facebuster right down to the knee, which looked very good, by the way. Blackheart, and I really do like how far Blackheart has come in the ring. I really do like how far Blackheart has come in the ring. I think Blackheart has evolved very, very nicely over the course of the last year. LeRae, then with a neck breaker off the middle rope. After Hartwell got involved, she distracted Shotzi. LeRae with a swinging neck breaker off the middle rope looked really, really nice. And LeRae defeats Shotzi Blackheart in a very good women's match for what it was. Nothing too over the top, nothing too crazy. This was just two women going out there and doing what they do best, wrestling. Now, Shotzi Blackheart lost. The reason why I believe she lost is because LeRae and Hartwell are going to be a focus in the Dusty Rhodes Tag Team Classic. We could possibly see Shotzi and Ember in the Women's Dusty Rhodes Tag Team Classic, defeating LeRae and Hartwell, and Shotzi could get her revenge there. But the way they've been on a winning streak, and they need to keep the way looking strong, because Gargano just won the North American title, successful title defense against Leon Ruff, and Candice LeRae, she's recently coming off a War Games victory all the way back on December 6th. So it would make sense that LeRae is victorious here, especially considering that Shotzi Blackheart, her push is in store for later on in the year, but Io Shirai is not losing that title anytime soon. So it would be pointless to give Shotzi the win and build her up to be the next challenger, because Raquel is going to be the next challenger, and Raquel more likely than not is going to lose. Very good match for what it was. Nothing too over the top, nothing too crazy, but two women who are very good wrestlers going out there and doing what they do best, wrestling. Finn Balor was in the ring, coming back from commercial. He said, January 13th, 2021, Finn Balor still NXT champion. I'll give Kyle credit. Kyle is good. Matter of fact, Kyle is great, but he's not on my level. Just like TakeOver 31, he got put down. And I put this red X on my chest because I am the target. Remember one thing, they stopped manufacturing the cloth that I'm cut from. Just then we had Pete Dunne, Oney Lorcan, and Danny Burch interrupting. Pete Dunne took the microphone and he said, "Are you really going to stand there and question what's next?" I watched what you did to Kyle O'Reilly, just like I watched my entire career, knowing that someday it'll come down to just me and you. And you only have that title because I haven't taken it yet. A couple weeks ago, you told me to get in line. Well, I'm not waiting anymore. Balor then, obviously, he struck first, and he tried to fight off everyone, but unfortunately, it was too much for him. Dunne targeted the shoulder before Kyle O'Reilly came out to help. He was overpowered, and then we had Strong and Cole coming down to help Lorcan and Burch, who were sent away, and that was that. This was a very good segment right here, and it's really getting me excited for what is to come, and it really does look like Dunne and Balor is all but confirmed. And, I don't know about you, but, you certainly won't hear a fucking complaint out of me if you're going to give me Pete Dunne and Finn Balor for the NXT Championship at TakeOver on Valentine's Day. I'm certainly not complaining. I don't understand why anyone would complain. That's a fucking WrestleMania main event. I'm certainly not going to complain about that. This was a very good segment. The Undisputed Era, they're still in NXT. They advanced in the Dusty Rhodes Tag Team Classic. I feel as though this could be the Undisputed Era's last stand. I feel as though they're probably going to put over Pete Dunne, Oney Lorcan, and Danny Burch in some way, shape, and form. I feel as though Pete Dunne, he's probably going to beat Kyle O'Reilly, and that's going to be his segue into getting a NXT title match against Finn Balor at the TakeOver on February 14th, if I'm not mistaken, if you know what I mean. So, let me know what you think. Is this the Undisputed Era's last stand? Could we see the Undisputed Era on the main roster by the summertime, which I believe that's when Bobby Fish is coming back? He's got a torn tricep. Fish has got a torn tricep. I do believe that once it heals by June or July, I believe we could see the Undisputed Era on the main roster after SummerSlam. Let me know what you guys think there. But this was a very good segment. I'm certainly not going to complain about Pete Dunne versus Finn Balor. That is a TakeOver main event any day of the week. That's your TakeOver main event for TakeOver on February 14th for sure. I'm all for that. We got the Dusty Rhodes Tag Team Classic beginning. First round matchup. We got Ever-Rise versus the Grizzled Young Veterans. First round matchup. And GYV looks fantastic. I fucking love the Grizzled Young Veterans. Grizzled Young Veterans are absolute studs. Grizzled Young Veterans with some swift tag team moves. They work so fucking well together. Matt Martel got tagged in by Chase Parker. He lit up both men. We had a belly-to-belly overhead toss. Ever-Rise with a pop-up spear. That got a 2 count. We had Chase Parker with a step-up elbow off of Matt Martel's back onto James Drake. They took out Gibson before Gibson recovered and neutralized Parker. Grizzled Young Veterans then hit the Ticket to Mayhem, and the Grizzled Young Veterans advance in the Dusty Rhodes Tag Team Classic. They are the first team to advance. Ever-Rise, I will say this. They've definitely come a long way. And they're really good characters. I feel as though they're better characters than they are wrestlers. They're not bad wrestlers. I'm not saying that they're terrible wrestlers. They're not bad wrestlers, but they're just very bland. They're very standard in the ring. For those of you who watched NXT this week, I feel as though you know what I'm talking about. They're not bad wrestlers. They're fluid. They're crisp. They can deliver the moves just fine. But if anything, I just feel as though that they're very, very standard. They're very bland in the ring, if you know what I mean. So let me know what you guys think. I feel as though the Grizzled Young Veterans really carried this match. The match wasn't anything special, but the Grizzled Young Veterans looked great. I feel as though if Ever-Rise worked on their in-ring skill a little bit more, maybe I'd be a little bit more open to them. They're great in terms of being annoying, over-the-top dickheads. They're great in terms of characters, but they're just a little too bland in the ring. They're a little too green in the ring. Very, very standard in the ring. But I feel as though as time goes on, that should improve. I want to give them a chance. But one thing I'm very happy to see that tag team wrestling is a focus on NXT again. Very, very pleased to see that. Very happy to see that the Grizzled Young Veterans are doing great. And the Grizzled Young Veterans, they are your next NXT Tag Team Champions. They are the winners of this tournament. Grizzled Young Veterans are going all the way to the finals, and they're winning the whole damn thing. Johnny Gargano versus Dexter Lumis. This was made after what happened with Dexter Lumis and Gargano, and Lumis making a drawing of Gargano crying. Obviously paying a little tribute to Johnny Meme. So Gargano Gargano ripped up the drawing. Lumis went right after him. Lumis, very, very slick, very smooth. I like watching Dexter Lumis wrestle. His offense is very smooth. Johnny was caught up with a right hand. Lumis then missed the Swanton bomb. Johnny was in control before Lumis came back with a spine buster. Nice slingshot suplex off the ropes. A back suplex. Then he kicked up. He kicked up and then did a leaping leg drop for a 2, which was beautiful. Theory then tried to grab the leg of Lumis before Gargano took over. He tried for the one final beat, but it was reversed. Theory then got taken out. Gargano rolled up Lumis, who tried to go after Theory. Gargano then rolled up Lumis in a tight, small package for the win, and Gargano defeats Dexter Lumis. Dexter Lumis, I feel as though he's going to be a major focal point by the summertime, and I feel as though he will be North American champion by the summertime. Let me know what you guys think there. But right now, the focus is going to be Kushida, because afterwards, Theory got locked in the silence before Gargano saved him, and Gargano and Theory were going to attack Lumis with a chair before Kushida attacked. He saved Lumis. They locked in double submission holds, and then Kushida eyed the North American title and gave it back to Gargano. Kushida and Gargano, that is a great North American Championship match for NXT TakeOver on February 14th. And I don't think you're going to hear a single complaint out of me there. But here's the thing. Gargano just won the championship. Are you really going to have Gargano hold the championship for only 2 months? Gargano's only going to hold the championship for 2 months, because if Kushida and Gargano face off at TakeOver, then that means that Kushida has to win. Because Gargano, he's already a made person. This is the side effect, and this is the detriment that you get from giving the title to Gargano, only to give it to Leon Ruff, and then giving it back to fucking Gargano at TakeOver. If anything, if you wanted to give the title to Gargano, you should have just given the title to Gargano at Halloween Havoc, and then he should have held the title throughout the end of the year, throughout January, going into the next TakeOver, and that would have been your North American title match, Gargano and Kushida. Gargano would have had a longer reign, and Kushida would have been able to win, and no one would have complained because Gargano would have had a nice long reign with the title. Would have had a nice 3-month, 4-month reign with the title. But of course, you needed to give the title to Leon Ruff, only to give it back to Gargano. If anything, Damian Priest should have held the title from August to December, and Kushida versus Damian Priest should have been your North American title match at NXT TakeOver War Games on December 6th. But you didn't do that, did you? I don't want to see Gargano have a short title reign, but if anything, Kushida has to win. You're not going to have all of these months. You're not going to have all this momentum for Kushida result in fucking nothing. You're not going to have all of these wins for Kushida result in Kushida losing, are you? We had a sit-down interview with Tommaso Ciampa and Timothy Thatcher. And Thatcher said he has been cleared for the fight pit. Wade Barrett was the moderator, and I actually like this. Ciampa asked if he asked, what is the extent of this injury? Thatcher said, it doesn't matter. Ciampa goes, I talked about changing the culture. Now I'm going into enemy territory. I see what you're doing. Are you looking into my eyes? Are you looking for fear in my eyes? Keep looking. He's implying that you will find no fear in his eyes. Ciampa said, Thatcher, the coach, you're a piece of garbage. I'm a different animal in that fight pit, said Thatcher. And you look like a man questioning if he's still got it. Ciampa then said, next week, inside the fight pit, inside your fight pit, you're going to get your answer. And we got Tommaso Ciampa and Timothy Thatcher in the fight pit next week. Let me tell you something. Thatcher is insanely fucking boring. He's a good wrestler, but he's boring as shit. He's got the charisma of a fucking doorknob. Thatcher's a good wrestler, but he's got the charisma of a fucking doorknob. But I will admit, this sit-down interview made this match and this program feel more important than it really is. And I really like the tension. I really like what was said here. I like what Thatcher said here. I will give Thatcher credit here. I like what he said. I'm a different animal in that fight pit, and you look like a man questioning if he's still got it. I like that. I really do like that. I thought the sit-down interview was excellent. Now, we got the fight pit next week. I would like to assume that this is going to be the end of the line. Ciampa defeats Timothy Thatcher, and Ciampa moves on to bigger and better things from Timothy Thatcher. If we're going to be quite honest with you, Ciampa should be the one challenging Finn Balor at NXT TakeOver on February 14th. We're going to be quite honest here. Look at what Ciampa's done. He beat Velveteen Dream. He beat Timothy Thatcher at TakeOver. He beat Cameron Grimes. He beat Tyler Russ. If he beats Timothy Thatcher in this fight pit, he's pretty much the #1 contender. He has more of a case than Pete Dunne of why he should be challenging for the NXT Championship. I don't know why Ciampa isn't fighting Finn Balor. He doesn't need to win, but it would make sense. Karrion Kross shouldn't be fighting Finn Balor right now because he's only won 2 matches since he's been back. So if anything, Karrion Kross is going to have to win some more matches. So why not put Finn Balor in there with Tommaso Ciampa as an interim opponent? And then Pete Dunne as well. I don't know about you. We had another first-round matchup in the Dusty Rhodes Tag Team Classic. It was Jake Atlas and Isaiah Swerve Scott versus MSK. And it was revealed that MSK is Nash Carter and Wes Lee, formerly known as the Rascals. And MSK, let me tell you something. MSK, very, very, very good debut. Very good debut. Very, very, very impressed with MSK. They did a very, very, very good job here. MSK with some quick, fast-paced moves. They are very fun to watch. Very, very fun to watch. Atlas with a suicide dive onto Wes Lee. Everyone was taking out everyone. Swerve got involved. We had Wes Lee coming in with a huge tope con hero onto both Swerve and Atlas going into commercial. Lee then lit up Atlas with some swift strikes and assisted moonsault. We had Nash Carter do a standing moonsault, and he got pushed through the air in the moonsault position onto Jake Atlas. That was fucking beautiful. Swerve and Atlas then, they actually did some really, really good tag team moves right here. We had a swift German suplex from Atlas. Very, very intense. Swerve with a brainbuster. Atlas with a spinning sidewalk power slam. And then Swerve with a beautiful fucking 450. But Carter was able to save the match. Atlas was then taken to the floor. We had a reverse Rana out of the corner on Swerve. And then we had a heart attack blockbuster combination. And MSK advances in the Dusty Rhodes Tag Team Classic. This was an excellent fucking match for only 10 minutes. And if you guys have not watched this match, I urge you to go out your way and watch this match. It went 10 minutes. Excellent fucking matchup between MSK, Atlas, and Swerve. Atlas really isn't all that special, but Atlas and Swerve, together as a tag team, they actually gelled very, very well together. They were working very well together, and this match was very, very, very good. You guys need to watch this match if you haven't watched it. MSK is going to be really, really big. It just really sucks that this is all that they can accomplish. All that they're going to accomplish is a great run in NXT, and then they'll be buried on the main roster because all I see when I look at them are 2 Ricochets. And look what happened to Ricochet. But this match was excellent. This match was fucking excellent. MSK, Jake Atlas, and Isaiah Swerve Scott put on a great fucking match. I'm not a Jake Atlas advocate, but he looked great in this match. Excellent, excellent match. We got the Women's Dusty Rhodes Tag Team Classic starting next week. Some of the teams were revealed. We got The Way, Indy Hartwell and Candice LeRae. We got Casey Catanzaro and Kaden Carter. We got Mercedes Martinez and Toni Storm. And we got Shotzi Blackheart and Ember Moon. We got first round matchups starting next week with Mercedes Martinez and Toni Storm taking on Casey Catanzaro and Kaden Carter. That's going to be a damn good fucking match. We got Xia Li taking on a jobber, and she won with a tornado kick in 30 seconds. We had this mystery woman putting her hand up like the Dark Order. Putting her hand up like the Dark Order, and Xia Li tied up her opponent in the ropes, and she was just repeatedly striking her, just beating the shit out of her. Boa and Xia Li look back at this mystery woman, and the screen just brightens up, and that's how it ended. Xia Li, I'm telling you, Xia Li looks great. Xia Li looks fucking awesome. And if anything, Xia Li could be fighting for the NXT Women's Championship by the summer, if her momentum keeps up. I think Xia Li looks great. We got Imperium and the Lucha House Party, first round Dusty Rhodes Tag Team Classic matchup next week. We also got Gargano and Austin Theory taking on Ruff and Kushida. That's also another first round matchup, both taking place next week, as well as the Fight Pit and the start of the Women's Dusty Rhodes Tag Team Classic. NXT is looking like a really good show next week. We got some stacked shows. Very, very happy. And in the main event, we got a great fucking match with Breezango and the Undisputed Era. This is the first round of the Dusty Rhodes Tag Team Classic. And you know something? I want to point this out. I like that Adam Cole and Roderick Strong are in the Dusty Rhodes Tag Team Classic. I really like that because it makes the tournament feel more important than it really is by having Adam Cole and Roderick Strong in there, a former NXT champion and a former NXT North American champion. I like that. So Breezango was in control before Cole came back with an Enziguri. Breeze was out of it. Strong came in. He lit up Fandango. Back and forth off the ropes. Forearm after forearm after forearm. We had Breeze getting dropped on Fandango by Strong. We had a Gutbuster Shining Wizard combo by the UE, but Fandango was able to kick out. Beautiful tag team work right there. We got a tag to Breeze, punt kick by Cole, Breeze with a backstabber for a 2. We had an elbow drop onto the knees by Breezango. Strong then broke it up. Everyone started hitting everyone with their major strikes, clotheslines and heel kicks and super kicks. All 4 men are down. We had the manufactured claps, obviously, but if there was real fans, then people would be clapping. We had Lorcan, Birch, and Dunn coming out to attack O'Reilly before Balor came down to save O'Reilly, but they attacked the injured jaw of O'Reilly. Cole got super kicked out of his fucking boots by Tyler Breeze, I believe it was. Strong then took out Breeze. Cole then with a super kick out of mid-air to Fandango flush, and Cole pins Fandango, and the Undisputed Era advanced to the second round of the Dusty Rhodes Tag Team Classic. Excellent, 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 excellent stuff right here. Awesome match. And the Undisputed Era, they are winners, but still, Kyle O'Reilly is not cleared, and his jaw was targeted again by Pete Dunne. And I'm assuming that Pete Dunne and Kyle O'Reilly, they're going to have a match down the line, and that is going to be the way that Pete Dunne is going to get an NXT title match against Finn Balor. Very good episode of NXT, but something needs to be said before we check the chat, and then we're going to move on to NXT UK. Something needs to be said. No matter how good NXT was, and it was very good, it doesn't change the fact that NXT still needs to move to Tuesdays. No matter how good NXT is, and no matter how great Triple H has presented the NXT brand in the last 2 weeks, it's not going to change the fact that the ratings are not going to go up because of what's going on. This fictional Wednesday night war needs to end. And Triple H needs to find a way to pull some strings. I don't know what he needs to do, but NXT needs to go to Tuesdays. NXT needs to go to Tuesdays. The show was very good, but the one overall criticism is the ratings, obviously, and the hype around it. Triple H is going to be busting his ass for a long, long time, but it doesn't matter what he does. NXT needs to move to Tuesdays. NXT needs to move to Tuesdays, and they need to move to Tuesdays immediately. But, of course, will that happen? No, because Vince McMahon does not want AEW to reach 1 million viewers. Overall, the show was very good. Very happy to see that NXT has a sense of direction again. I hope the streak continues. I hope they continue the momentum. I hope that the Dusty Rhodes Tag Team Classic and the Women's Dusty Rhodes Tag Team Classic continues to continues to send shockwaves throughout NXT. Very much looking forward for the TakeOver event on Valentine's Day. We got 3 more shows to go over. I did watch 205 Live, so we'll be talking about 205 Live. Let's check the chat. Check the chat. Danielle's wondering who is lurking. Kay said hi. How are you, Kay? Shout out to you, and shout out to Danielle. Furious Nation says, Grizzled Young Veterans and Martinez and Tony Storm are my picks to win the Dusty Classics. I agree with Grizzled Young Veterans, but I'm going to have to go with Raquel and Dakota Kai to win the first ever Women's Dusty Rhodes Tag Team Classic. I'm going with them. I'm not dabbing, Danielle. Cool King says, move NXT to Tuesday, definitely. Cool King, what are your predictions for the Women's and the Men's Dusty Rhodes Tag Team Classic? I would like to know. What are your predictions there? Let's move into NXT UK. NXT UK was a very good wrestling show. We actually had a lot of interesting material getting set up for the future, and it was headlined by A-Kid versus Walter for the NXT United Kingdom Championship, which we will talk about. But first things first, we had Shaw Samuels. Yes, that is his name. Shaw Samuels versus Joe Coffey. Shaw Samuels didn't look half bad here. Shaw Samuels didn't look half bad here. I'm not going to lie. Coffey was trying him out to come back. He managed with his fist. He was lighting up Shaw Samuels with the fists. Shaw Samuels then with a power slam for a 2. Very, very, very nice power slam. Joe Coffey with a springboard crossbody for a 2. Coffey ended up hitting the Glasgow send-off and the Aura Best for the Bells for the win. Decent match. And Shaw Samuels actually looked pretty good. Shaw Samuels actually looked pretty good. I don't really have any complaints about Shaw Samuels. And Joe Coffey, as far as Joe Coffey goes, I don't know about you guys, but I can definitely see Joe Coffey challenging A-Kid for the NXT UK Heritage Cup Championship. So keep your eye on Joe Coffey. I would love to see Joe Coffey and A-Kid for the NXT UK Heritage Cup Championship. In 2 weeks, we got Pretty Deadly versus The Hunt versus Oliver Carter and Ashton Smith versus Andrews and Webster. This is a Fatal 4-Way elimination match. And the winners face Gallus for the Tag Team Championships. That should be very interesting. And if anything, this could be Pretty Deadly's breakout moment. I'm going to be going with Pretty Deadly. We had Dave Mastiff doing dumbbell squats in the UK Performance Center, and he actually challenged Rampage Brown. Interesting matchup right there. I am very much looking forward to seeing that match. Should be a damn good fucking hoss fight. We had Tyler Bate versus Sam Gradwell. I'm not going to lie, this is another decent match. Sam Gradwell didn't look too bad here. And the one thing that I've noticed about Tyler Bate, and I'm not sure if you guys noticed this too, but the one thing I've noticed about Tyler Bate is the fact that Tyler Bate always tends to make his opponents look very good. You know what I mean? Tyler Bate always manages to make his opponents, no matter who he's in the ring with, he manages to make his opponents look good in the process. And that's what I liked about this match. He actually made Sam Gradwell look pretty good. Gradwell was trying to cut down Bate with the bop and the bang. We had a big European uppercut and a big exploder suplex, a standing shooting star press for a 2. Tyler Bate with an STO, or caught with an STO by Gradwell for a 2. Bate then countered with the capo kick and the Tyler Driver 97 for the win. Another decent match, nothing too crazy. I don't know where Tyler Bate is going, but I can definitely see Tyler Bate working towards another match with Walter for the NXT UK Championship. Ginny and Joseph Connors then came out, and they came out to stand face-to-face with Kaylee Ray. Ginny said, I do deserve a lot of credit, but some needs to go to Joseph. You're probably wondering why. I'm a woman of wealth. With money comes power, and with power comes connections. This is what she said. Next week, I'll be the new NXT UK Women's Champion, and you can damn right guarantee that. Kaylee Ray then came out, and she goes, Ginny, you're funny. You're funny. I've beaten everyone that's been put in front of me, and you, Sunshine, won't be any different. So we had Ginny saying, you haven't been in the ring with me, and the real joke is that you've been representing the NXT UK Women's Division. You have that championship, but the Queen is championship material. Joseph tried to back off Ginny. Ginny said, the only reason you're standing here is because I helped you keep your championship. You're very welcome. Next week, the Queen will reign, and there's nothing you'll do about it. Enjoy it. You got one last week of being champion. And then Connors and Ginny left. So the match, of course, is next week. Ginny, of course, is a nice interim opponent. Kaylee Ray's not losing that championship. Eva Valkyrie is going to be the one to take the title off of Kaylee Ray. And then in the main event, and then we'll check the chat again. Main event, A-Kid versus Walter for the NXT UK Championship. This was a great fucking match for 14 minutes. If you guys have not checked out this match, I urge you to go on to whatever wrestling link or the WWE Network, watch this match, because this match was a great fucking match. A-Kid, they have definitely made A-Kid into a star. A-Kid was taken off the UK independent scene. They are doing a great job with A-Kid. He's the UK Heritage Cup champion, and now he put on a great fucking matchup for the NXT UK Championship with Walter. Very technical to start it off. A-Kid was trying to use his speed. He targeted the legs of Walter. Walter absolutely just chopped the shit out of A-Kid. And if you're asking me to take a chop from Walter, you're out of your fucking mind. I ain't taking no fucking chops from Walter. No way, no how. You could not pay me enough money to take a fucking chop from fucking Walter. So get the fuck out of here with that. I ain't taking a fucking chop from Walter. So we had Walter then continuing to chop down A-Kid. Absolutely fucking devastating, just chopping the shit out of him. Open hand palm strikes, closed hand palm strikes. Fucking brutal shit this was. Fucking brutal shit. We then had A-Kid with a dragon screw on the ropes. A dragon screw on the ropes, which weakened the leg of Walter. Dragon screw on the ropes, weakened the leg of Walter. And we then had A-Kid with a springboard drop kick right to the knee. A-Kid then with a thrust kick to the face of Walter. A-Kid was running towards Walter, but Walter, like a fucking freight train, came out of the corner, drop kicked the shit out of A-Kid. And I'm telling you right now, A-Kid was turned inside out. He was drop kicked. The force of this drop kick sent A-Kid back, and A-Kid rolled over his neck. Looked fucking brutal. I could have sworn he fucking broke his neck. Absolutely fucking devastating. Then he hit a power bomb, but A-Kid was able to kick out. A-Kid then locked in the armbar, but they rolled out of the ring. Walter then with a one-armed power bomb on the apron to A-Kid. A-Kid then came back with a Pele kick, but he got turned inside out with a fucking lariat. Chopped to the back of the neck. Another lariat. A-Kid rolled over his fucking neck again. And Walter pinned A-Kid to retain the NXT UK Championship in a great fucking match. Absolutely fucking brutal stuff from Walter. I do not know how the fuck, I really don't. I don't know how the fuck A-Kid was able to survive. It was absolutely fucking devastating. But man, A-Kid, great performance with Walter. Walter is probably the best big man in all of WWE right now. Great match. Great way to begin the year for Walter with a successful title defense. Very much looking forward to seeing what they do. We got a women's title match next week. We got a tag team title #1 contenders match. It should be very interesting for NXT UK. NXT UK, I just wish they had fans because, man, they were doing some great shit. They were really doing some great shit. Furious Nation, check the chat. What are your thoughts on Joseph Connors with Ginny? I don't necessarily mind it. It's just going to take some time for me to get used to, if you know what I mean. Danielle says, say hi to Kristen, Destiny, and Rachel for me. I'm assuming those are your daughters. Rachel, Destiny, and who's the other one? And Kristen. Rachel, Destiny, and Kristen. Hello, I'm DJ Storms. Thank you very much for watching. I hope that you enjoy the show. I hope that you enjoy Mr. DJ Storms ranting and raving. Hey, Danielle, you'll be happy to hear. You will be happy to hear that we have 0 dislikes, but only 21 likes. You see, we need to at least get to 30. I was going to put my goal at 50, but I don't know what's going on. I don't know what's going on there. But let's check Twitter for a little bit, and then we're gonna move on to the SmackDown review, and then we'll talk about 205 Live. We're gonna talk about 205 Live in just a little bit. You're always here for the rants, Danielle. Danielle, you are always, always, always here for the rants. Thank you very much for sharing. I know Dave's there. I'm not sure why Dave has not liked the stream. Did Dave like the stream? Unbelievable. Anyway, should we get into SmackDown? Should we get into SmackDown? I think we should get into SmackDown. So, SmackDown. I want some more likes, people. SmackDown. Welcome back, Earl. Welcome back, Mr. Earl Cole, baby. So, listen. I don't want to say that SmackDown was a bad show because we did have some decent material. We got some decent material. It's certainly more digestible than Monday Night Raw. I don't want to say that SmackDown was a terrible show, but some things just didn't sit well with me. We'll go over it. The main show was obviously built around Roman, but they've really just become too dependent on Roman Reigns. I'm sorry. So we had Paul Heyman talking to Roman, and he says that this match needs a stipulation to teach Adam Pearce about fear and respect. Consider this handled. So that was how Heyman started off the show. And we got Jey Uso then coming out. He was going to fight Shinsuke Nakamura. So he took the mic. He said, "Welcome to the Bloodline show. Hot food and catering. Millions of people watching every week. You should be saying, thank you, Roman. I'm declaring my entry into the Rumble. I'm going to win the Rumble, beat Drew or beat Goldberg, and then win the WWE title. But Nakamura, you should be thanking us because we let you survive. As soon as you cross my family, we'll be seeing you leaving a stretcher." So Nakamura then came out, and he says, if Roman is the big dog, then I guess that makes you his little puppy. And then Nakamura caught Uso with a kick going into commercial. Look, I just hope that we don't see fucking Roman Reigns and Goldberg, but I really don't put anything past this company. I really don't. I don't put anything past this company, but I really do hope that we do not see Roman Reigns versus fucking Bill Goldberg for the Universal Championship or the WWE Championship, whether Roman or Jey wins the Rumble. Jey's not winning the Rumble, but I hope that Roman doesn't enter himself in the Rumble and he wins it and he challenges Goldberg and Goldberg wins the WWE title. I don't know what they're going to do, but I'd like to hold out hope that we're not seeing anything regarding Roman and Goldberg. But I don't put it past this company. I really don't. I don't. But the promo was decent. Nakamura officially is a babyface again, but do you trust Nakamura? Do you trust WWE, excuse me. Do you trust WWE with this Nakamura push? I don't. I have a feeling I may know where this is going, but ultimately I don't have any faith that WWE is going to do this. More likely than not, Nakamura is going to be back to teaming with Cesaro by next week. I mean, they already acknowledged that Cesaro and Nakamura are still a fucking tag team. So why should we care? So we get the match. Cesaro came down to the ring mid-match. Nakamura remained in control. Uso kept the aggression up on Nakamura. Nakamura with a sliding knee and a snap German suplex off the ropes for a 2 count. We had a Samoan drop by Jay for a 2. We then had a beautiful back suplex neck breaker. I actually like that move, the back suplex neck breaker. It's a very nice move. We had Uso hitting the super kick. Nakamura got the knees up. Uso went for the Uso splash, but Nakamura got the knees up. Charles Robinson caught Uso's feet on the ropes as he went for a roll-up. Uso got rolled through by Nakamura, and Nakamura hit the Kinshasa for the win. Decent match, really nothing too special, nothing too crazy, nothing too over the top, but we get a decent match here with Nakamura and Jey Uso. But do you trust WWE to actually make the right decision and have Nakamura go forth and get a Universal title match? I don't. All of a sudden, now you want to push him? I saw a lot of people on social media saying that it was because of all the Wrestle Kingdom hype. I really wouldn't put it past WWE to be pushing Nakamura just for the Wrestle Kingdom hype, just for a few weeks, just to get people talking. Oh, hey, we're pushing a Japanese talent because of Wrestle Kingdom. I wouldn't put it past them. But I really don't expect Nakamura to get a Universal title match. I'll go in depth more about it when we talk about the main segment. Just wait. Heyman approached Adam Pearce and Sonya Deville. I don't know why the fuck Sonya Deville is a assistant to the GM when she should really be winning matches on television, fighting for the fucking women's title. But, you know, I'm just some nerd from Jersey with a sideburn chin strap combo who screams at his laptop about wrestling. You know? Whatever. Heyman approached Adam Pearce and Sonya Deville. Heyman said that the match will be no DQ. Pearce says, this is exactly what you want. And he signed it. Roman and Apollo were then sitting in the office of the Tribal Chief. And that's what I'm calling it, the office of the Tribal Chief. So, Roman was then approached by Heyman, and he looked at the contract and he said, this isn't what I wanted. I didn't want a no DQ match. I wanted a last man standing match. Heyman says he'll never go forth with it, talking about Adam Pearce. Roman said he will. He has to. Consider this handled. We're going to sign it in the ring tonight. Roman Reigns and Apollo Crews. Let me tell you something. I don't know about you, but Roman Reigns being affiliated with Apollo Crews, I like it. I like Roman Reigns and Apollo Crews. You know why? This could give Apollo Crews an edge. They followed up on what happened with Heyman and Apollo Crews on Talking Smack. I like that. If anything, you could have Apollo Crews win the Intercontinental Championship. Possibly. He could possibly win the Intercontinental title next week. A match was confirmed. Apollo Crews wins the Intercontinental title next week. And we could possibly see Apollo Crews as the Intercontinental Champion. And then we got the Usos. Jimmy is due back any day now. Jimmy wins back the SmackDown Tag Team titles with his brother Jay. And then we got a Samoan Dynasty takeover with Roman as the Universal Champion, Apollo as the Intercontinental Champion, and the Usos as the SmackDown Tag Team Champions. Heyman as the manager, that's a great fucking tyrannical takeover going into the summer. I like this. I like this. A very, very intriguing. Very intriguing. So we then get Natalya versus Liv Morgan. The match itself between Natalya and Liv Morgan wasn't necessarily a terrible match, but my God, we had Billie Kay coming out with the Riot Squad dressed like a mosh pit girl. Natalya kept up the aggression. Liv regained control before Billie came off of commentary. She got in the ring. Natalya then rolled up Liv for the win, and that was pretty much that. This is your weekly reminder, people, because this is important. I hope you are listening. Listen very closely, because this is going to be something that everyone needs to know. Everyone. Earl Cole, Danielle, Cool King, your daughters, Kay, Furious Nation, everyone, Nat Moody. Is everyone listening? This is a weekly reminder that Billie Kay is AIDS. Billie Kay is AIDS. Billie Kay is AIDS. Billie Kay is an absolute cancer to the women's division. Billie Kay is AIDS. And anyone who supports her is AIDS. Just a reminder. Did you get it? Billie Kay. Billie Kay. Is AIDS. Thank you for coming to my TED Talk. Moving on. Rey Mysterio versus Baron Corbin. Baron Corbin. Who cares? Dominic got involved. Corbin punched Dominic down. And then Rey got caught into the end of days. And that was pretty much that. Who cares? Adam Pearce was then told by Heyman that the match will be last man standing and they'll be signing the contract in the ring later. We got the Ding Dong Hello Show with Bayley. So you know for a fact that they wanted to rip off the waiting room with Britt Baker. But obviously this show was completely fucking unnecessary. The show was completely fucking retarded. Bayley's fantastic. Bayley is awesome. I just want to let you know, Bayley is great, and if she wins the Rumble, I won't be mad. If she wins the Rumble, I won't be mad. But this was fucking stupid. Bayley looked stupid, and we got like an obstacle course challenge between Bayley and Bianca next week. Really. You're having Bianca compete in a fucking obstacle course, similar to what Bobby Lashley did with Sami Zayn all the way back during their build towards fucking Money in the Bank in 2018. So you're going to have Bianca Belair run a fucking obstacle course instead when she should be fighting Bayley one-on-one in the ring? Really? Ding dong. Hello. This sucked. I'll tell you one thing that didn't suck. Daniel Bryan and Cesaro. Daniel Bryan and Cesaro put on a very, very good match. Great stuff here with Bryan and Cesaro. Bryan then kicked the post, and his leg was injured. Cesaro and Bryan then had a couple of ground-based reversals, very technical. Cesaro then reversed the Hurricane Rana into a beautiful vertical suplex from the top rope. We then had Bryan mounting a comeback, but he got caught with an uppercut and a neutralizer, and Cesaro gets the win. This was a very, 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 very good match right here. I loved what they did here. I thought it was great, and Daniel Bryan, I really do hope that he's in contention to win the Royal Rumble. I really do hope that the reports are true, and Daniel Bryan is going to win the 2021 Royal Rumble. And just so you guys know, I'm actually starving right now. I got to get some food after I get off the stream. So then we had Apollo Crews versus Sami Zayn. Swift offense here. Apollo Crews and Zayn traded roll-ups before Apollo won with a roll-up of the tights. And we get an IC title match next week. And then in the main event, we had the contract signing. So both men were in the ring. Roman signs the contract. And Adam Pearce said, "I was waiting all night for you to do that." Pearce then walked up the ramp. His knee was hurt. He said that, "Looks like I'm going to have to find myself a suitable replacement, and I know just the person to do so." Owens then came out, and he signs the contract, and we get Owens and Roman in a last man standing match at the Royal Rumble. My thoughts and prayers go out to you, Earl Cole. No one deserves to lose anyone to that horrible disease. I've lost a couple of people to cancer. I lost my grandfather on my mom's side and my dad's side to cancer. It's actually coming up on the 2-year anniversary of my grandfather on my father's side's passing on April 4th of this year. But yes, Billy Kay is god-awful. But as far as this contract signing goes, here's what I want to say to end my thoughts on SmackDown, and then we're going to talk about 205 Live for a little bit. I do not have a problem with Roman looking like a complete dickhead. Matter of fact, Roman Reigns has looked like a complete god. Roman Reigns' presentation has been absolutely perfect. I love what they're doing with Roman Reigns. I don't have a problem with Roman Reigns looking like a dickhead. I don't have a problem with Kevin Owens coming back and challenging Roman at the Rumble. I don't have a problem with the last man standing match. I have no problem with that. I think that's going to be great. But I want to ask a question here. If Kevin Owens and Roman Reigns was ultimately going to be your Royal Rumble match, why did you waste 40 minutes of a fucking gauntlet match last week to have Nakamura look like an absolute beast, only to get fucked over by Roman and Jay, have Adam Pearce win the gauntlet match, only to have Kevin Owens come back and sign the contract to get the match with Roman? Why didn't you just book Owens in a last man standing match with Roman Reigns? Why didn't you just have Adam Pearce come out last week and say, "Hey, I talked to Kevin Owens. He'll be cleared by the Rumble. We're going to have another matchup, and you're going to face Owens in a last man standing match at the Rumble." Why couldn't you have just have done that? Because now you have one glaring issue that's going to stick out to you, and that is going to be Shinsuke Nakamura. Are you even going to follow up with Shinsuke Nakamura? Or is he even going to fight Roman Reigns? He's not going to beat Roman Reigns for the Universal title, but people obviously know that Nakamura got screwed over, and Nakamura deserves an opportunity because of what happened in that gauntlet match. If Roman and Owens was going to be your end game, there's no fucking reason as to why you should have done what you did. No reason why you should have done what you did. Unless. Now, I do not think this is going to happen. This is way too logical, and we all know that logic and WWE in the same sentence. Yeah, right. And I'm the Green Lantern. They could go this route, but this is too fucking logical for them. Roman Reigns, more likely than not, is facing Daniel Bryan at WrestleMania. Daniel Bryan is going to win the Rumble. SmackDown wins the Rumble. Daniel Bryan faces off against Roman Reigns at WrestleMania. That's Roman's WrestleMania match, right? Raw is more likely going to get the Elimination Chamber, and we're going to get Sheamus winning the Elimination Chamber and challenging Drew McIntyre, I hope. Roman Reigns is not defending the title inside the Elimination Chamber, nor should he defend the title inside the Elimination Chamber, but, he more likely than not will be defending the title at the Elimination Chamber, right? he more likely will be defending the title at the Elimination Chamber, okay? So, I don't know if they're going to go this route, but if you want to, you can have Nakamura challenge Roman Reigns at the Elimination Chamber because Kevin Owens, he's ultimately going to lose. He's ultimately going to lose at the Royal Rumble, and after he loses for a third time, that's it. There's literally no case that Kevin Owens can make for another Universal title match. If he does, it would not make any sense. He would not deserve it. So, if anything, Roman is going to need someone to face at the Elimination Chamber. Nakamura is not going to win the championship, but he damn sure deserves an opportunity. So, if anything, you could have Nakamura face Roman as an interim match at the Elimination Chamber, and that could be a segue, that could be a gateway to getting Roman through the Elimination Chamber to where he ultimately fights Bryan at WrestleMania 37. Now, they could do that, but unless they're doing that, unless they're going to go that route, I don't understand why you even did this gauntlet match to begin with, because now, what is going to happen with Nakamura? More likely than not, they're going to go and have Nakamura team with Cesaro again next week. We could see Nakamura and Cesaro going to a fucking program. But that's what I'm talking about. If you want to, I do not mind Kevin Owens facing off against Roman Reigns at the Royal Rumble. But at some point, you're going to have to acknowledge Nakamura. More likely than not, they won't. And more likely than not, that won't happen. But that's a possibility that they can go. You gave yourself an easy out. You pretty much gave yourself an easy out for the Elimination Chamber. Roman's not defending the title inside the Elimination Chamber, but he can defend the title at the Elimination Chamber. And you could have Nakamura and Roman Reigns put on a great match for the Universal title, a great world title match. Roman Reigns gets enhanced, Nakamura looks good, and then Roman Reigns goes on to face Daniel Bryan. There you go. At least acknowledge the fact that Nakamura deserves a fucking title opportunity because he got fucked over. That's all I'm saying. That's the SmackDown review. Let's check the chat. A lot of Billy Kay is awful comments in the chat. This is why I love my audience. This is why I love Danielle. This is why I love Kay and Cool King and Furious Nation and Earl Cole. This is why I love y'all, because you know the facts. You know the facts. You know that I'm a god. And you know that Billy Kay is AIDS. Yeah, allergies suck. Allergies absolutely suck. It's unfortunate, Earl, that WWE's not going anywhere with Shinsuke Nakamura. Of course, let's not forget, people, on January 29th, 2:30 p.m. Eastern Time, me and Mr. Earl Cole are going to be doing the Royal Rumble rundown for 2021. You are not going to want to miss a fucking moment of it. Me and Earl Cole are going to be making history. He's going to be appearing on my channel, the DJ Storms brand. Back in action again. The boys are back in town. Boys are back in town. Anyway, I did watch 205 Live. And there's a reason why I watched 205 Live, because we had 2 Dusty Rhodes Tag Team Classic matchups. Now, of course, that's really not going to generate too much interest in 205 Live, but we did get a couple of decent 205 Live matches and 2 Dusty Rhodes Tag Team Classic first round matchups. So we're going to talk about 205 Live. The first one was the Bollywood Boys versus Legado del Fantasma first round Dusty Rhodes Tag Team Classic match. I'm not going to bullshit you here. Bollywood Boys. The Bollywood Boys didn't look half bad. The Bollywood Boys were all business. They actually looked in great shape. They were all business. This was probably the best I've seen the Bollywood Boys look. Now, I'm not sure if that's because they were working with Legado del Fantasma, but they actually looked fairly decent here. Decent match here with Legado del Fantasma. And they were two heel teams. So I got to give them credit. We had Wild delivering a swift DDT. Legado del Fantasma regained control before Samir Singh was isolated. He got the tag to Sunil Singh. He picked up the pace with a big back body drop, atomic drop, and a spinning heel kick. Sunil with a double axe handle for a 2. Samir then got super kicked and elbow dropped. Actually, not a super kick, a superplex, excuse me. Samir with a superplex, and then we had a diving elbow drop by Sunil. Beautiful tag team maneuver right there, but Wild was able to break it up. Samir then got sent into the steps. Legado del Fantasma then with the Russian leg sweep and Zaguri combination, and Legado del Fantasma advanced to the quarterfinals. And if anything, I would have Legado del Fantasma advanced to the semifinals as well. I don't think they're going to advance to the finals, but I would have Legado del Fantasma go to the semifinals because Raul Mendoza and Joaquin Wilde are two great professional wrestlers. Decent match right here, really nothing overly special, but the Bollywood Boys, I will give them credit. I will give them credit. They actually look a lot better from the last time that I've seen them. They were all business, and they look in good shape. So I'm not going to bullshit you. They actually look pretty decent here. And then in the main event, we had Kurt Stallion and August Gray versus Drake Maverick and Killian Dane. Now, we did have some of the comedy bullshit in this match, but it was kept at a minimum. It was kept at a minimum. We did have some of the comedy bullshit, but it was kept at a minimum. And I actually didn't really mind it. We did have some tag team cohesion with Drake Maverick and Killian Dane, and I actually see this as an opportunity. Now, when Drake Maverick and Killian Dane first came onto the scene, I fucking hated them. They were Team Hell No 2.0, completely against what NXT is all about. It was absolutely fucking stupid. And I hated it. But then we saw them switch gears, and we saw them develop a sense of determination and focus, a sense of severity when they were facing off against Lorcan and Birch for the tag team titles back on the Holiday Bash edition of NXT on December 23rd, I believe it was, right? And they were focused, they were serious, and they actually looked very good. They actually looked like a team that could be taken seriously if booked correctly. So I'm watching this and I'm like, you know what? If I see more of this, maybe I can get behind them. They actually have a little bit of potential. And now we see this. And it was a decent match here with August Gray and Kurt Stallion. Nothing too special, but it was a decent match. Drake Maverick and Killian Dane, they had a lot more tag team cohesion. And yes, they did some of the comedy bullshit, but it was in small doses. It was in minimal doses. If anything, call me crazy, but if anything, this tournament could end up making Maverick and Dane into stars. They're not going to win the tournament. Matter of fact, I think that Grizzled Young Veterans are the correct winners. Grizzled Young Veterans should be the winners, and they should be your next NXT Tag Team Champions. But if you want to, I would not mind Dane and Maverick if they keep up the severity and they keep up the determination and focus. If they do less of the comedy bullshit, I would love to see them go into the finals. I would love to see them go into the finals, and I would love to see them face off against Grizzled Young Veterans. I think that this has the potential to make them into stars, and that's what NXT is all about. That's the NXT of old. That's what NXT is all about, creating stars. And if you want to, I think that this could be a big break for Killian Dane and Drake Maverick. This was the first step. If they have another great performance against MSK, they go into the semifinals. They could have another great performance against Legado del Fantasma. They go into the finals. They face off against Grizzled Young Veterans. They lose, but in a great match. That could make Dane and Maverick into stars. And that's what I want to see. This was a fairly decent match, I'm not going to lie. I was not bothered by this match at all. Maverick used his quickness to get inside Stallion's head. Dane was actually impressed. Dane and Gray got into it. Some unorthodox tag team offense from Dane and Maverick. Dane then with a double suplex, and then Dane tossed Maverick over the top rope with a tope onto both men. Stallion and Gray took over before Dane got the hot tag. He was running over both men. He hit the divide on Gray for a 2. We had Drake Maverick with a zigzag on Stallion. And then Gray planted Maverick with a spinning Northern Lights bomb. Then we had Maverick being isolated while Gray and Stallion hit a super kick German suplex combo. Maverick was then able to take out Gray. We had a powerbomb to Stallion, and then Dane powerbombed Maverick onto Stallion for the win. And we got a decent match here with Drake, Maverick, and Killian Dane advancing. I actually would love to see Drake Maverick and Killian Dane go all the way, but they're not going to win. But Grizzled Young Veterans will take the win. But I think that this could make Drake Maverick and Killian Dane into absolute bona fide superstars. Decent match right here. Couple of decent Dusty Rhodes Tag Team Classic matches. We got another Dusty Rhodes Tag Team Classic match next week. We got Desmond Troy and Ashanti the Adonis versus Tony Nese and Arya Daivari next week. We also got the Women's Dusty Rhodes Tag Team Classic premiering next week. And I'm actually very much looking forward to seeing what NXT does. But they really just need to move to Tuesdays. As far as 205 Live goes, 205 Live has really suffered from not having fans. So we'll see what happens with 205 Live leading up to TakeOver. But these Dusty Rhodes Tag Team Classic matchups, I don't mind them taking place on 205 Live. It's a reason to watch. It's a reason to watch. Well, ladies and gentlemen, that wraps up this edition of the Lightning Flash Update. I am looking to get out of here. And we are getting set to end the stream. Thank you all. Thank you all for coming as per usual. This was another Grand Slam stream. We reached over 100 views, I believe. I believe we're going to reach 30 likes at some point as time goes on. We got 0 dislikes. Of course, the trolls cannot handle the fact how successful I really am. Danielle, if you want to be on one of my streams, I can definitely have you on one of my streams. I can definitely have you on one of my streams if you want to. We could definitely work through it. We could probably work a rundown or a rewind in there. I definitely would love to see that. I definitely would love to have you on. Thank you. Thank you, Danielle. Thank you, Kay. Thank you, Rachel, Destiny, and Kristen for watching. Thank you, Earl Cole. Thank you, Kobe Talks. Thank you, Cool King and Matt. Thank you, Furious Nation and Adam. Thank you all. Thank you, JoJo, even though you're not watching, I know. But thank you all. A great stream once again. We are approaching the 3-hour mark. Be sure to like, comment, and subscribe. Check out all the links in the description. Check out the Hibiki collaboration for Royal Rumble 1995 on Hibiki Highspots if you missed it. Next week, stream on none other than January 23rd, 2021. Also, Cameron Johnson has invited me on his podcast. I'll be recording a podcast for Royal Rumble and the predictions that me and Cameron have for the Rumble. We are going to be talking about that on January 22nd. I'm not sure when the podcast is going to be up, but I'm going to talk to Cameron Johnson about that. Of course, next week, collaboration is taking place. Next week, I start college as well. I may be busy. I will keep you guys busy. I may not have too much time to talk, but I will keep you guys busy. We got another stream next week. And, of course, in 2 weeks, we got me and Earl Cole with the rundown for the Royal Rumble 2021. Lightning Flash update on January 30th. And, of course, the rewind on February 1st for the Royal Rumble 2021. Thank you all. God bless all of you. Thank you very much. I'm going to go eat some food. I need some fucking food. You're awesome, Danielle. You are the best. Kay is also the best. Everyone in this chat is absolutely elite. And I will catch you guys next week for another episode of the greatest stream, the greatest show on earth, the Lightning Flash Update. I'll catch you next week. Enjoy your weekend.